You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
And welcome to a good old artisanal podcast about three gumshoes taking on all the crime.
Breaking news, TADPOG does it the best, see?
Talking about Carmen Sandiego.
I mean, tangential. I can see where one inspired the other.
I could see that as well, yeah.
At least the costume.
Well, yeah, there's some other things I could see. Specifically the game. Dick Tracy and Carmen Sandiego weirdly have some things in common, I feel like.
Also, the similarities extend to the Roger Rabbit video game.
Yeah?
In the way it is laid out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. I kind of did. You're talking about the overworld and everything?
The overworld and search for clues.
Yeah.
It's
weird how it kind of, I don't know.
Ties right in, doesn't it? We did that on purpose, everyone.
Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen.
That's the ticket.
Yes,
Morgan Fairchild.
God, I haven't thought about that in forever. So today, of course, we're talking about Dick Tracy.
Where's Taz?
I tried, dude.
Bro.
I tried so hard. She would
Bro,
not. She would
where's
not.
Taz?
She would
Come
not.
on, man.
I wanted so badly. I felt like I almost had her convinced, and then it was just like, no,
What's
no,
even
I
the
couldn't get her.
point?
Yeah, I'm done. Sorry, guys.
I know.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We tried.
Although she did tell me she's like, I don't know why I had this as a kid, but she pulled up. I would have loved to have bought it for her now, but they're like $75. Are kids' night shirts for Breathless.
Night shirts.
Breathless Mahoney.
Really?
So
Like
like,
sleep
yeah,
shirt
like
kinda
sleep
deal?
shirts for kids
Like,
that are like
for
down to their
kids?
knees with Madonna and Breathless
You know,
underneath
for
it.
kids.
Yep.
It's not see-through,
She's
is
like
it?
she had no.
Hope not.
She's like, I don't know why I had this as a kid.
Is she wearing black panties and morning? Morning of lips manless?
We're getting ahead of ourselves, fellas.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's get to those details later.
Put this on the skids for now.
Let's put it on the skids for now, boys. We've got other things to talk about.
Let's agitate that gravel in the other direction.
That's what people think Call of Cthulhu is like.
The way I read it is
I wish the Dresden Files was written that way. It was like read that way. That would be good.
So before we dive into both the movie and the NES game, what you guys been up to?
Well, I got some stuff this week.
You got some stuff?
We didn't see each other last week
I know, yeah.
on the normal day, so
Yeah.
we're recording. Yeah, the car's
The
fine.
car's cool.
I had to get
Good.
my car was out of commission. The parts I needed to fix it didn't come in from Rock Auto until Thursday, which is the day we normally record. I had to work, and so I opted out of recording that day so I could fix my car because I got tired of either getting rides or borrowing my wife's vehicle.
I loved our Discord conversation so much because I was like so not feeling it that day, and I knew that the parts were coming.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, every day I'm going to ask if the parts what the status is on the parts.
I made up my mind that I didn't want to do the show.
Yeah, that's what I love because I was like, hey man, the parts show up. You're like, I don't want to record. It's like, oh great.
Yeah, I was going to cut through the bullshit and
maybe
be like,
Friday.
nah, I don't want to fucking record.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No.
I was not in the mood.
That's great.
So it worked out. Car's running again.
Good.
So that's good. It was a minimal cost. Turned out it was the spark plugs and the coil pack.
All
so
right.
it took about 10.
I don't know anything about a coil pack.
It's
I've
the
replaced
thing
a
that
spark
plugs
plug
into
before.
the spark plugs.
Oh, okay.
There's no wires. It's like this
Like a
box that
plug-and-play
feeds
kinda deal?
it feeds the electricity and the timing to the spark plug. So
Okay.
it's a relatively inexpensive part. Altogether, it cost me about $116, and I did it. John helped. I didn't really need his help, but we do stuff like that together because we're best friends.
Yeah.
And
you know
we had
where he
really
is.
great weather that day to do it too. It was super cool out. You know, it wasn't humid, and It was a good thing. So yeah, it all worked out for the best.
And your matching Dark Tower license plates.
Yeah, yeah. Tyler noticed walking in tonight that the last 3 letters of my license plate say TET, TET.
Tet.
And John's, we both bought our cars from our place of work, and they got the plates for those 2 cars at the same time. So
Yeah.
mine's like 1 number off from his, and they both end in TET. So we've got a little car-tet.
It's car.
If you will.
Ooh. It's car.
It's car. Aside from working on my car, got kind of a lot of things to talk about. So if it gets too long-winded, let me know. I'll stop.
Let's let you go.
This past weekend, my favorite video game, in case you didn't know, Overwatch, had a play test for a new character that's coming out next season. They've been doing this lately where they'll run a play test on the new character for like a weekend and get feedback on how the character plays and stuff so they can like make changes and tweaks to it.
I think this explains a meme that I saw and didn't understand.
So the new character's name is Juno.
It does explain a meme.
Juno
that I
is
saw.
a young lady that originates from the Mars colony.
I was going to say,
In
from the movie? Are you...
in the no, not that Juno. In the Overwatch universe, she originates from the Mars colony. And for the last season, they had this little streak in the sky in some of the maps, and that was her pod coming to Earth.
Okay.
And then
That's
in
neat.
one of the levels where she crash landed, where you start, you see her pod is open, and then now they've released it for playtesting, and she's a support hero. And that young lady has a great big old healthy dump truck on the
There
back
you go, Al
of her.
Pacino.
I'm about to say literally a dump truck.
It's a dump truck. She
rushed her
drives a
vehicle.
dump truck through everybody.
Great ass.
Got a great ass. And it is sweeping the internet, like all of the Overwatch forums, all of the not safe for work Overwatch subreddits and all that
Yeah.
stuff. She's been like publicly available for 3 days, and there's probably more porn of her out there than ever this quickly.
Yeah, Blizzard was like, man,
They're like, fuck it.
that porn was so good for us.
It's really up in our numbers.
Can we just
But-
give her like a big ass?
It's a great big healthy booty, and they did not
Let's
make
lean into it. Come on, guys.
they did
Yeah.
not make any beans about it. They did this on purpose. There is no way they didn't. I hope they don't like back off on it. You know, I hope at this point,
yeah.
I don't see they could. But the good news, though,
Tittysaurus
aside
is the
from
next one who's coming.
aside from
It's a
Juno,
great Steve name.
it's a good Steve name. Big old dump truck is another good one. Aside from that, in addition to her having a cute little booty, she's a remarkably well balanced character. It's probably the best one that's come along in a long time.
Cool.
Did a few games with her over the weekend and really had a lot of fun. She's a support character, very versatile. So, you know, if this is kind of the roadmap that they've got, sexy, very versatile, well-balanced characters in this game, it's maybe got a future still.
Okay.
You know, hope it's
All
not
right.
lost. But anyway, she's not there anymore. They took her out, obviously, until the next season starts.
Oh,
She was just
okay.
a
This is a
3-day
teaser
play
thing?
test, and then
Oh.
next month in August, later in August, is when the next season begins, and that's when she'll immediately become fully playable in all modes.
Okay.
So, highly recommend if you're an Overwatch fan. This is a really good one to get in because the last one they released, Venture, they weren't that good. Ended up being really overpowered, and now they've gotten really badly nerfed, and it's just been kind of a shit show.
That was
So
Blizzard's cycle with like Heroes of the Storm, but it's different in Overwatch, I assume, because you're not gonna have to like pay. You don't pay for new characters, right?
up until yes.
Oh, danger!
However, they did away with that.
Oh, okay.
The last character that came out was this big Samoan dude named Malga, and he carries like 2 chain guns, and I mean he's a big tank. Pretty decent character, but it was a pay to play kind of deal, and people were really sticking it to Blizzard pretty hard over that.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't always been that way.
Right.
And then they did do it that way. And they're like, oh, if you buy this battle pass, you get it. And I mean, I buy the battle passes anyway. But finally, Blizzard said, as one of the things we're changing going forward, all new characters are going to be free to use. Because they know that people, if you give the character to them for free, they'll buy skins if they like them. And so I think that was sort of their logic.
That's
but
good.
They don't do that anymore.
Heroes
but
of Storm,
the last few you had to pay.
It got fucking, the cycle was, and it got really obvious. Anytime a new character would come out, you'd have to pay for it.
Yeah.
You could use in-game currency, but I think there was something where it's like when they very first came out, you had to pay cash, maybe. It's been a while. But the deal was the new character was always overpowered. I mean, this is like it has to be by design.
Right.
Super overpowered, and then like by the time the next character would come out, they would have nerfed.
They would nerf that one. So the next super overpowered character
Just stay competitive,
you have to
buy the newest one.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Fuck that.
They don't do that here. I mean, sometimes a character is overpowered, but that's just, I don't think that's by design. I think it's just Overwatch is an extremely difficult game to balance because there's so many different, facets to it and whatnot. And they're very attentive to changing things that the community is responding. And they watch their numbers and say, well, now suddenly because of this character's hardly ever being played. Sure. So what do we need to do to adjust they want everyone to be on a level playing field, but obviously it's a role-based game. So your support, your damage, your tank, and some characters are better at some things than others, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. But this one is a very well-balanced, Juno's a very well-balanced character that...
A little
bottom heavy, but that's okay. That is really going to, I think, play out nicely.
Cool.
So that's good news from the Overwatch front. Next up on my talking points list, started watching House of the Dragon on HBO. This is the follow-up to Game of Thrones for anyone who doesn't know.
Okay, yeah, I've seen the commercial for that.
It sucks.
Does it really?
I hate it. I'm going to finish it because there's parts of it that are okay, but I have not enjoyed it. It's been boring and lifeless, and it does have 100% more dragons in it, which are very cool. Okay. The scenes with the dragons are nice.
Are they claymation?
No, they're like stop motion, like Mr. Bill claymation animated.
Oh man, that's perfect. That's what I was wondering.
Yes.
I mean, the highest quality I'll go is Clash of Titans.
Yeah.
Original.
Oh, no, Mr.
That
Dragon,
would work.
Here comes the Targaryen.
Here comes the thing. He's gonna ride me.
No.
He's gonna ride on my back. I don't know, man.
Oh, he's fucking his sister. Oh no, it's the Targaryen.
Yeah,
And
you
a
pretty
dragon
much
gets slammed in a jail cell house door.
you pretty much have the gist of the show there, Tyler.
Cool.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and Melissa was like,
It's boring. It's not very good. I'm gonna watch it.
She also can't stand looking at Matt Smith.
Yeah, he's rough with that long white hair. I'm gonna watch it just to make fun of it, really, honestly, at this point, because HBO would like you to believe that everyone actually thinks that this is a worthy successor to Game of Thrones, that it has all the magic of the original show, and that it is not even anywhere as close to as interesting as the original show. And I'm on like episode 8 of season 1. I don't know how many total there are, but they got to hurry up and get with the good stuff if they're going to do it, because this has been just a slog. And if it doesn't improve much in the next couple of episodes, I may have to kick it to the curb. I've just been unimpressed. I hate that because I really enjoyed the original show. I was disappointed with the ending, but overall the show was a lot of fun to watch, and I really did dig it. But this has just been
What's
not
George
ready for TV.
R. Martin's? Does he have a hand in this?
I don't
assume?
pay attention to anything he does or says.
I'm just curious. I
have no idea. He's probably an executive producer, if I had to guess. So
he's like, sure, they would do that. Yeah, sure.
And there was
I'll make a note of that.
There was one of the books he actually did write after the first few books that came out or whatever. about the history of House Targaryen, and this
He loves writing shit that's not about the main
Yeah.
line series.
He's the
He
writer of
fucking loves
Elden
it.
Ring. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I don't know what he wrote.
really
Yeah, because it
the
was
credits.
yeah. I mean, there's lots of lore in that game,
Yeah.
right? But so I guess he wrote the lore for it. Would be
Okay.
my assumption. I don't know. The lore's nice. I mean, that's a
Sure.
but still, it was one of those where it's like this seems like a weird pull.
Well, the House Targaryen book is as boring as the show, so I mean, it tracks with the book.
Yeah,
It's dull and lifeless, and I don't recommend it. 2 stars. Wasn't safe. Just check it out. Some very good TV, some very interesting and fun TV. The Boys. The Boys season 4 finale came out this past week, and holy fuck, if you are a fan of the show and you haven't seen it yet, get to this episode, people. This one was one of the best episodes so far. It was
Had to have a
funny.
disclaimer too, didn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
it
disclaimer.
did. So originally the title of this episode was called Assassination Run. And as I'm sure everyone listening knows, our beloved ex-president Donald Trump was almost assassinated while he was giving a speech at a rally a couple of
at a
weeks
rallies.
ago. He was at
This tracks.
he was working the
That's why I don't go
drive-through
to
at rallies, and he was giving a speech. And
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Donald
shit.
Trump had a rally
Had a
at
rally.
the rallies.
probably like a rallies food truck. Yeah, but because of this, and there's been a lot of backlash over some of the things that people have said, like Tenacious D. We talked about that, I think briefly. I'm not sure if we did.
I don't think so.
We have-
So
we have
Tenacious
not.
D was performing in Newcastle, Australia on their tour, and it was Kyle Gass's birthday, and they brought him out a cake with candles, and they said, make a wish and blow out the candles, and his wish was, next time don't miss Trump. They were summarily deported they canceled their tour. They were deported from Australia, and the band broke up.
What the fuck?
They're
Yeah.
not together. It's over for now. I mean,
Yeah, Jack Black said we will do no more creative endeavors. Like,
yeah, because he
Wow,
didn't,
I
because
didn't hear any of this.
Jack Black didn't know.
Kyle left the band.
Yeah, exactly. that's been the running joke. It's just another Kyle left the band gag. Jack Black was apparently completely blindsided. He had no clue. This
Yeah.
was all improv. He didn't know he was going to say it.
Yeah, yeah.
He immediately canceled the tour. They
oh no,
left.
my Disney money.
Yeah.
We're done.
And then he wrote a statement about we're no longer pursuing creative endeavors as Tenacious D and da-da-da-da.
Wow.
So, yeah, because of all of the sensitivity around this, which, again, political violence is not...
Sure.
You don't
not a
have to
good thing.
shoot at the guy. If you don't like him, you don't like him. That's your right as an American. But, the violence is not okay.
Yeah.
And it truly is awful when someone tries to hurt someone else and kill someone else. That's just bad. So that is the truth. But the name of the...
Jodie Foster didn't have anything to do with this?
No, I said the same thing. I said, I swear to God, Jodie Foster is sitting at home. Please don't say my name. Please don't say my name. I've been through this once. That's more than enough any one person should have to go
So
through.
audio memes. One of my favorite memes of that event shows Jack Black and Kyle Gass, and then of course underneath it is from Fallout New Vegas, the factions. So it has boomers vilified over Kyle Gass, and then millennials, you are now vilified over Jack Black.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
It was a bad choice of words, and it went badly for them. They were literally
Yeah,
kicked
that
out of the
sucks,
country.
man.
But anyway, so the season 4 finale of The Boys was originally called Assassination Run because it involves an assassination plot against a political figure. Well, they changed the title of the episode to Season 4 Finale. And they put a disclaimer out in front that said, this show contains depictions of political violence. We don't condone that, but we shot it in 2023. Obviously having no idea.
Yeah. Money spent, checks been cashed. Here you go.
It was a fucking phenomenal episode, not just because of the assassination stuff. I just mean in general for the series. If you watch the show, when you get to this one, this was my favorite episode. Many emotional moments in this one, and next season is their last season, and they're gonna go out with a huge bang, I think. So The Boys,
I know they've said that the show will have a different ending than the comics.
okay. Well, The Boys is solid 4
'Cause
stars.
the ending of the comics I've seen, and it's fucking dumb. So I'm glad they're not doing that.
Yeah, well, they're right on the money. 4 stars. Wisdom Say says,
got some cider
please,
over
please,
there?
please check it out.
I did last week.
Oh, those are some
I
big
just forgot to
boys.
throw it away. Yeah,
Those
that's
are
why I
like
was a little
fucking
drunk when John was on.
You could hear it a little. You were there. Still reading the Dresden Files, as you may have remembered.
Hell
I've been
yeah.
reading that. I'm on book 4.
See, four is. I feel like when shit gets good.
You're right. The first 3 books I've been on the fence, and I gave book 4 a shot, and I'm glad I did because book 4 is fun. There's a scene in the book, this massive fight that takes place inside a Walmart that is some of the coolest. It was a really well-written fight scene, a really well-written action moment. And Harry and his friend, the cop, Karen Murphy, are finally jiving. She's not constantly trying to arrest him. They're actually working together, which is fun. That they've got a great dynamic, and it's really well written. The only problem I have kind of with these books is I like the narrator. I like the guy that reads them.
Oh,
But
man.
he mispronounces a bunch of shit.
He's British.
He is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, maybe that explains it then. He's got an American accent when he reads the books, but he keeps mispronouncing things.
Because he's in Torchwood.
Okay.
Have you seen all of Torchwood?
I have. Which one is he?
He's got the slick back white hair. He's the other teleporter.
Oh,
that has,
shit. Okay.
yep.
I know who that is. All right. Well, then I can forgive what I perceive as a mispronunciation because clearly he speaks the King's. That's the language they invented.
Why do it in an American accent? Is that like
It's
important
kind
in the
of.
book?
Harry's from Chicago.
From Chicago,
Okay,
I guess.
so he's doing
and
that.
the book is written from his perspective.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I can see why they would. Okay, well that tracks because he pronounces the word dais. It's dais.
Yeah.
He pronounced peaked as peaked. And chain link fence was pronounced chain length fence.
Chain
Which
link.
might
The
have,
whole length of it was chain.
might
How's he
have-
wrong?
It might have been written wrong. I may have got that may have got past the editor. I don't know. But now that I know he's British, which I didn't know, I can forgive it. Dresden
Never.
Files, book 4.
Never.
Check it out. Finally, I revisited 3 of my favorite childhood movies over the weekend. Superman 1, 2, and 3, starring Christopher Reeve as Superman. These movies are corny as
Yes,
fuck,
they are.
but they are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful movies that bring me literal joy.
Is 3 the one with Richard Pryor?
3 is the one with
Okay.
Richard Pryor, and it's the one. It's it's where the show jumped the fucking shark, baby. Or the movie series. Actually, Superman 4: Quest for Peace
I didn't see that.
Is-
I haven't seen that one.
truly horrible.
Yeah.
But Superman 3 is good because as stupid as it is, Richard Pryor
Right.
saves the day.
Sure.
But Superman 1, 2, and 3 are some of my favorite movies. That the first movie came out when I was 4 years old. I was obsessed with Superman when I was a kid. I loved it. Like, not Nicolas Cage obsessed. Like, I didn't name
Good.
my child Kal-El. Although I can't say much. I did name my child after a kid from a horror movie written by Stephen King. But anyway,
Got age. You're so.
yeah, the movies are just a lot of fun. The music is great. Gene Hackman is in the first 2 as Lex Luthor. He's brilliant in these movies.
Yeah, he's good.
Christopher Reeve is one of my favorite people. He's one of those people that I believe embodied the spirit of Superman in his actual real life. He was a wonderful human being
And hated Marlon Brando.
he hated Marlon Brando. So the whole because he played Jor-El, but he never actually spoke directly to him. It was like in his recordings or whatever.
And that's why?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, that and the fact that Jor-El was dead because of Krypton blowing up, and Superman was a baby when they Kal-El was a baby when he. Anyway.
Right. Is 2 the one where he rips the S off his
Oh
chest?
my God. I laughed. I had forgotten about that. I laughed. It's like he's got a saran wrap.
I know, it's
S
hilarious.
that just gets huge. And apparently they can teleport and play this game where they teleport, and then there's fake Superman here. He's made a hologram.
Right.
And then they can also use their fingers as like devices to shoot a white beam that lifts things off the ground.
I haven't seen 2 probably since I lived in Lexington, that was a while ago.
And if you play the drinking game where every time Zod says kneel before Zod, you have to take a drink, you will die. You will die. But I acknowledge how at the time when I was a kid, oh no, these were fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I can
sure.
look at them now and laugh, but they still make me extremely happy.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I absolutely recommend, if you're a fan of Superman, go back and watch those original 3 movies and understand that at the time they were pretty fucking spectacular.
It was a huge deal. I remember being a
fucking
kid.
major deal.
Even as a kid, I was born in 81.
Yeah.
So even when I was like 6,
Yeah.
people were still talking about the first Superman movie.
Oh, it was a huge, and the technical achievement at the time to make Superman fly over New
sure.
York, and the CGI that was involved to get that done, and everything. It was great. It was wonderfully done, and it was extremely entertaining. And all you young little whippersnappers, if you haven't seen it and you want a good laugh, but you want to know where the DC cinematic universe truly kind of kicked off full steam, it's Superman 1, 2, and 3.
Back when it meant something.
Yeah. And so lastly, in my little monologue this evening, that I thank you both for indulging me in.
It's been fun. Had good conversation.
I'd like to extend a rest in peace to the following people that we lost over the last week or week
yeah,
and
it's
a half.
been a fucking week for
Dr.
that.
Ruth Westheimer has left us. Richard Simmons, which just breaks my heart because he's another wonderful, wonderful human being.
I was never like a big fan of his, but it was like I just liked him
You
being
could
around.
not like him. Yeah, he was so positive and upbeat.
It's like I don't know that much about him other than
Right.
I just liked him
Well,
being on
you
TV.
don't need to know a lot. The guy was the right kind of person.
Yeah.
And
Well, I saw a post that like Keith Richards outliving Richard Simmons shows that dot exercise doesn't mean fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then also rest in peace to Shannon Doherty.
Yeah, that I didn't know she had breast cancer.
She's battled that for years, and I knew that she had been fighting it, and she kind of came out of the limelight because of it.
Yeah.
In memoriam, Tanya and I watched Heathers
Okay.
that day when we heard.
Forgot she was in.
Yeah,
Heathers.
she was one of the Heathers, and she was my favorite 90210 character because she was just mean.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
loved that
Fucking
about
Brenda.
her. I love Brenda.
Yeah, she's a Mallrats.
And lastly, yes, she is. Lastly, by no fault of our own, I'd like to say a fond farewell to one of my all-time favorite comedians ever to walk this earth, Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss. I won't have to miss Bob Newhart because everything you watch of his is still. You can watch his stuff and everything he's in is funny
Still
and
good.
and good,
Yeah.
and it's
It's timeless.
yet
A lot of it's
yet
timeless
another
humor.
example of a really good, wholesome person.
Yeah.
That was a spectacular entertainer.
Man, when I was on my last work trip to Chicago, right across from my hotel room was a large photograph of Bob Newhart.
Oh,
and
that's
it made
awesome.
me so happy each morning. I remember
see it,
this.
yeah.
Leaving the room, and it's like dreading what's going to come because those trips are a lot of work and long
big trip.
days.
Works, yeah.
And I remember seeing Bob Newhart every morning and being like, that's Bob Newhart.
It could be
was-
worse. We could live in a world without Bob Newhart. And to be clear, we do not live in a world without Bob Newhart. Just because he passed away, his legacy is always going to be out there. And for those of you who haven't seen the shows or know anything about him, I highly recommend you look into it.
for sure.
He is one of the greats, and he will be sorely missed. But I'm very grateful to have been lucky enough to live in a time when I got to experience his talent. and his wholesomeness. So farewell, Bob.
And I just saw the movie Elf for the first time, like Christmas last year.
Yeah.
And I was delighted that
Yeah.
he plays Will Ferrell's dad, adopted dad. I remember the very beginning of the
perfect.
movie. It's like, oh, fucking Bob Newhart.
It's the one thing about that movie that I actually really like is the Bob Newhart stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I didn't like
I
that
felt like
movie.
Elf
It
when I
wasn't for
watched
me.
it. It was like, I think we got done with it. I looked at Nikki and I was like, I think I had to have been there.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't bad.
It was fine.
But
It's fine.
But it wasn't like, this is tradition. I'm watching
Tanya
this
likes,
every year.
yeah. Tanya likes to watch a lot of Christmas movies every year. She'll put it on the channel that shows Christmas movies 24/7. They have like 31 days of Christmas on one of these fucking cable channels. I can't remember which one it is. Like,
Hey, but Ed Asner Santa Claus though.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But that one
Yeah.
goes into the rotation, and she'll watch it, and I just kind of tune out because it's fine. I don't dislike it.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
don't
not for
didn't
me.
dislike it either. But
Yeah.
it's not going to be in the
Not the rotation.
annual rotation
Yeah.
for me.
That's all I got this week, fellas.
Dave, what you been up to?
So the first third of the raid series, Final Fantasy 14 came out, and that is
First third.
Yeah, they release them in four fights. So there's 12 total fights over an expansion. And they've done the first 4. And those are a lot of fun. I want to talk about them, but I don't want to spoil anything. So I ran through those. It's good. It's good. Probably, I know it's a honeymoon phase, but it's probably my favorite so
That's
far.
great.
The fights themselves.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
And I feel like some of the other raid series, granted these are like the Alliance raids, but there have been some where it's like Alliance raids, like where you have like a huge group of people go in.
Uh-huh.
These raids are like 8 people go in and fight a boss. That's essentially
I like that shit so much
how
better.
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Alliance raids are also fun though, where you go in with a huge group of people because like as long you can be carried so easily in those. And that's like one of the big leveling strategies right now is like to get your characters your jobs quickly from like 90 to like 96-ish, 97-ish is to just constantly run the old Alliance raid because you can get like half a level in however long it takes you to get through it, which is like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I personally haven't done it, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it recently, and I've been tempted to do it, but I've been just leveling jobs like doing fates, which is like a system where it's like it's all in the overworld, and then like anyone can join. I've been doing it in parties, but you don't have to do it in a party. Monsters just spawn on the earth and you go and you kill them. And as long as you reach that certain threshold, you get a bunch of experience. You get like currency called bicolor gems. And that's why I'm doing it, because I got all my crafters to 100. All my gatherers are 100 now too. Fisher as well. So this is exactly where I like to be.
Uh-huh.
Fully self-sufficient. You
Yeah.
know, where it's like, all
It
right.
makes such a huge difference.
Oh God,
Huge.
I
It's
completely
When I
can
had to run
relate.
anyone else in 11, that's when the game started being really fun.
Yeah. So now I'm in this routine where it's like I've got my retainers and they function as a storefront. Essentially, you can sell like 20 items on each retainer. And I'm in this rotation now where it's like what I'm doing is I'm crafting high quality gathering gear and putting that on my storefront. It all goes on a market board, but you interface with your retainer.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I do, man. It's like when I log in, I check to see what's sold, and I just replenish what's sold. And when I replenish what's sold, I adjust the prices of shit that hasn't sold. And
So you're running a business.
yeah, that's been going pretty well.
It's what you're doing.
Yeah. But see, a lot of the crafting ingredients rely on the stuff that you buy with the bicolor gemstones that you do through fates. So it's like the longer I play this game, the more I see how like the systems are designed to interact with one another.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, oh yeah, well, if you want to do this and like maximize your profit, and I know time is money, I know that's a thing as well, but if you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, where it's like, I'm leveling all my alt jobs while I'm getting bicolor gemstones to feed to my crafting jobs to craft shit to put on the market board to make money.
The circle of life.
So yeah, that's been fun. That's what I've been up to.
That's awesome.
And
Actually, I love it.
Yeah. So
I love when you can kind of craft out that sort of cycle that sustains you and allows you to just be comfortable.
Yeah.
And not have to sweat.
Yeah.
All the bullshit.
To be perfectly honest, Final Fantasy 14 is really good about like, if you just play the game, you're gonna have enough to survive.
Oh, that's good.
It's
That's
not
good.
It's not like Ultima Online was.
God,
I
you
feel
could
like,
literally
where it's
starve to
like-
death. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not like that. Where
That's how I was thinking it was.
No,
because
no.
it was fucking sink or swim in that game.
Whenever I like see on Reddit someone post like, which is super rare, someone posts that they're having like problems getting Gil, because it's like so much stuff is designed in the game to like just reward you with Gil. So it's like even if you're not like crafting or gathering, even if you just are playing one combat job, it's like if you're running dungeons and you're like doing like raids and stuff like that, even if you're not doing it, if you're doing fates, I mean, it's really designed in a way where it's like you're rewarded for just playing the game.
That's really excellent.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
like that.
But I want more, so so I have a store.
There you go. That's okay too.
And then I did the so over the course of an MSQ, which is the main story quest line,
Okay.
of an expansion, they have these things called trials, which are similar to raids, but they're a super really big boss fight, and they are required in the MSQ. They're quests that you have to finish. They're big important parts of the story beats, and I don't really want to spoil anything, but so I won't. But the first one's really cool. It's a Final Fantasy VI reference. Love to see that kind of stuff. So once you get through the story, once you finish a trial, you can unlock an extreme version of it. And the extreme version is much more difficult, as the name would suggest.
Right. Okay.
And I finally got a clear. I got 4 clears on that last night. So I got my first clear on that last night, which the rewards to that are, I mean, they're good. I got a new axe for warrior. That's always good. Got like a plume. So it's like, all right, I might be able to make some barding for a chocobo here. But really, honestly, I just like running the content. Like tanking that fight
Yeah.
was like so much fun. The first 2 I off tanked, but the last 2 I main tanked. And there is this mechanic in the fight where it's like you have to, the 2 tanks, there's this big fucking tower that's just damage. It's just damage. And you have to like rotate in and out. So like one tank goes in while the other comes out, and then you rotate back and forth.
Okay.
Meanwhile, while you're rotating, this like the arena is being blasted by damage, and you've got this like 16th of a pizza slice that everyone has to like stand in. And the off tank, whatever tank's not soaking all the damage, has to stay in front and essentially manage their damage mitigation, and like also keep their fingers crossed that the healer is gonna heal, which they do. Everything's fine.
That's how fighting all the dragons in 11, where everyone had to go stand on their feet.
Oh,
So their breath weapon wouldn't get them when they would.
Okay.
So you saw all the mages standing on their feet and the tanks other places.
That's funny. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the fights in Final Fantasy 14 are they're super positional, absolutely positional, like to a degree of like. There's some like bullet hell style like stuff that you have to do, which makes it difficult, but it also makes it fun if you want to do that kind of stuff. But like, so that tank swap mechanic you do at the very beginning of the fight, and then you'd have to do it one more time at the very end. And every time I got to the very end and doing that tank swap, I was fucking like shaking, but like in a good way. It was just so fucking exciting because it's like, we're so close don't fuck it up. Because it's like, if you fuck that mechanic up,
you're done.
Yeah. Which did happen to us once.
Yeah.
Like one of the tanks didn't get in there and it was like, oh, okay, we're all dead. But I did that yesterday for a long time. And like those hours just fucking like, they just evaporated. Yeah. In a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just,
no, that's awesome.
it was just fun. Been listening to a lot of good music. A lot of good music has come out recently.
Okay.
Sturgill Simpson had a new album that came out. He released under the name of Johnny Blue Skies, which is the first album he's released under that name. He's an alt country guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not.
I feel like I have heard the name, but it's not resonating.
He's done a lot of stuff like outside of music as well, like the Bill Murray, Adam Driver movie, The Dead Don't Die.
That was actually just on the other day. Love that movie.
That's his song, The Dead Don't Die.
Is that right?
That's
okay.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
He's been involved in like some animation projects, which I haven't seen. I've heard they're good.
Okay.
But, so he had an album that just recently came out that was really good. Billy Strings had a live album that came out. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's a bluegrass guy.
Ooh.
Really good.
I like some good bluegrass now.
It's a live album. And it's my only complaint about it is I love live albums. I like it when it's a full show. And this is kind of like a best of where it's like pulling different songs from different shows.
I'm going to test your live album. I'm going to gatekeep some live album.
I'll be bad at it for sure.
How do you feel about Cheap Trick live at Budokan?
I haven't listened to it. Should I add it to my list?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
It's their best album.
Okay. I'm not like, I've listened to one Cheap Trick album, I think.
Well, the gate's open. Come on in.
Okay. All right.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's live at Budokan is regarded as their best album. Now, there's a couple of tracks in the middle that aren't great, but the energy of the crowd in that one is because they just got a fucking stadium filled with Japanese girls.
At Budokan?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. I've added it to my 1978.
Yeah, it's an old album. But they really hit big when they went to Japan. And that's the proof in the pudding. It's a great album. So, yeah, check it out. Anyway, sorry. I didn't
No worries.
cut you
Speaking
off.
of Japan, there's an album that I had never heard of that Zaunop turned me on to because we were talking about music. And I was, I'm not like a big, I don't really like Primus that much, which I know a lot of people like Primus, but I've never been like, the reason it came up is because Spotify is fucking insistent. They're like, dude, you would fucking love Les Claypool. Dude, you would love him. And I'm like, homie, I don't.
You don't know me.
I've tried, and it's like, it's fun. I get it.
He's
super talented.
Extremely gifted.
Super talented.
But it's not for everybody.
I can see why people absolutely love his music. I don't.
As a bass player, I am in awe of him. As a music enjoyer, I've been kind of always on the fence about whether I actually liked it. So, yeah.
I don't hate it.
I get it.
But it's like, my whole thing with Primus is like...
If it's not an AD&D greater deity, no thank you.
Right. I can listen to like a Primus song. I've tried listening to a Primus album before, and that is a no-go for me.
Tough.
It's too much.
It's a lot. You're not. I get it. I get it, man. I get it.
But Zal mentioned, he's like, Primus did an album called, I think it's like, oh God, I can't remember. It's like the Desaturation 9 or something like that. I can't remember. I didn't listen to it, but he said it was based on an album from that a Japanese guitar player did in 1981. His name is Masayoshi Takanaka, and he wrote this 1981. He wrote this concept album based on a German published book, children's book about these. The album is called The Rainbow Goblins, and it is a book. The book is about these goblins who are going to eat a rainbow, and that's pretty much it. That's the story. And this guy wrote a concept album about it. It like predates. It's like the precursor to city pop, the city pop genre. This album's really good.
All right.
Like really good.
I'm down. I'm going to check out all of these.
I listened to it and it was like, there's so much stuff. Listening to it is like, holy shit. Like on the last track, I swear to God, it's like, oh, okay. Well, this sounds like Guardia Forest. I mean, it's like this had to have been like an inspiration for like
I finally get one that you're talking about.
which I think the track name for that is like Mysteries of the Forest or something like that. Because I had to like listen. I was like, dude, I gotta like listen to this and then listen to the Guardia Forest music and see. Yeah, sounded really familiar.
I'm going to check all of those out. Those sound good. A fun Primus fact: Les Claypool auditioned to be the bass player for Metallica.
What?
Before Jason Newsted took over.
Really?
And he went into his audition, and Metallica said, "Nah, man, you're too fucking good to be in this band." So he went and did his own thing. But yeah, he went to be. Could you imagine what Metallica would sound like with Les Claypool as the bass player?
No.
He plays all 4 parts of Master of Puppets by himself in real time.
While manipulating an actual puppet.
Yes.
And then there's a new Childish Gambino album that came out too.
Oh, okay.
Which is really good.
Okay.
It's like the soundtrack to a movie that's coming out that it's called Bando Stone and the New World.
And not heard of that.
There's a trailer out for it. It looks pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah, but the album's very, very good. There's been so much. I'm not used to so much stuff coming out at the same time. Stuff that I'm into. There was a new Eminem album too, but
it's good. It's pretty good. I've only
listened to it once.
Yeah, I've only gotten through it once, but what I listened to of it was really good.
My biggest criticism of that is that I liked the singles that were released like way better than.
That's usually the case.
It is the case.
I mean, but that's okay.
But
I mean, you got to really dig for the good in the other tracks. You got to really be like all about the man.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some really,
but I got nothing but love for him.
And there are like 2 really heartfelt tracks on that.
Yeah.
At least 2 that are really heartfelt tracks on that album. That's Coup de Grace. And so there's 2 really heartfelt ones, and then like the singles are good. Like Toby, I feel like is a really, really good track.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Tyler?
Pretty much just work, but I got some blind drafts.
Okay.
I guess there's some blind drafts.
Let's do some blind drafts.
I do want to do a blind draft. You have blind drafts plural?
I have 2 10-spot blind drafts.
Hell yeah. Somebody's been working.
I'm going to listen to this Cheap Trick album. I'm excited to listen to it and report back.
I can't wait. It's the consummate Cheap Trick experience.
Okay.
So the first one, pizza toppings.
Okay.
Pizza toppings.
Okay. It's 5 or 10?
10.
10.
Both of these are 10 spots. Pineapples.
Well, that's an easy 10. Not a fan. Although you're going to say something really gross, and I'm going to have to put it above pineapple, but I'm putting it at 10.
Man, that's a 6 for me. Because I like pineapple on a pizza, but it totally depends on what you pair it with. The idea of eating just a pizza, one topping, and that one topping is pineapple.
I'm good with it being like a dessert pizza pineapple.
Yeah, that I can live with.
Pineapple, but I'm with you, Dave. It has to either be with jalapeno or like pepperoni.
Like a salted,
ham
some
or
kind of like salty meat. Yeah.
Heat or salt. Yep.
In that case, like if I've said this, I think probably on the show before, if I go somewhere and there's free pizza, but the only kind that there is features pineapple, I'll still eat it because I like
favorite topping is free.
I like pizza more than I hate pineapple. You know what I mean? So I can do it, but I would never actually willingly choose to put pineapple on a pizza.
Next is corn.
I've never had corn on a pizza.
I haven't either.
Very popular in Japan.
Really?
Okay.
I could see it being good again, paired with the right things, maybe in a Southwest style kind of mixture of toppings. But being uneducated to the taste of corn on pizza, I'm putting it at a 9.
Yeah, it's an 8. I'll put that as I would try it, but the problem is I haven't had it before.
Yeah.
But I'd try it. That's an 8.
What style of corn is it? Like just
Cream.
Sweet corn.
that's the sauce.
Sweet
That's
corn.
the base.
Yeah. Ooh, Thanksgiving pizza.
Oh,
You can eat cream corn as
get
the
you a little
sauce.
cranberry chunks on there, maybe a little turkey.
yeah.
Just get it all at once.
Actual stuffing in the
I
crust.
think we're on stuffed crust. I think we're on to something. Trademark TADPOG 2024.
Next, shrimp.
Call us Hormel.
I've never heard of putting shrimp on a pizza.
Shrimp.
I've never had shrimp on a pizza. Tails? Are the tails on or off?
No, it's just
like-
the sweet favored shrimp flesh.
All
That sounds pretty
I'd try
good.
it. It sounds like it'd be all right. I like shrimp okay.
I do too. I'll put that at 6.
I'll put that as that's a 4. That's a 4.
Very trendy right now. Pickles.
Trendy. People are eating
Pickles.
pickles on pizza.
As part of like a cheeseburger style pizza or just pickles?
It is the primary topping, just pickles.
The primary topping. I like pickles a lot. Wait, is it like a hamburger dill or is it like a sweet dill? What's the
I've seen it's a
What's
dill.
the dill, man?
The biggest thing I've seen it on is a ranch base.
a
with
ranch
dill.
base?
Yep. Ranch cheese pickle.
Oh, Nikki would love that.
Tanya would fucking love that.
I'd
Tanya's
try
all
it.
about pickle. I would
Casey
too.
did it at Stella's a few months ago.
I'm not. I like pickles, but not in great quantities.
I love pickles.
But I'm probably gonna put that at a 7. Although it's intriguing, the ranch, the cheese, the pickle. I know that would go over big with Tanya.
I love pickles so much that when I eat them, random people will say, "You're going to have gas later." That's happened to me 3 times in my life.
That's that is truly a definite love for pickles.
It's a lot of pickles.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm not even mad. I'm kind of impressed.
I'll put that at a 3. Sure, it sounds good.
Blue cheese.
Yeah, it's a 10 for me,
Blue
dog.
cheese.
That will go up a little higher for me. That'll be a. Now, how is it? Just crumbles on top of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna put that at a 5.
Never was I more disappointed with a sandwich and simultaneously when I realized I don't like blue cheese. Is when Dave Thomas tricked me into getting a cordon bleu sandwich from Wendy's.
I know the one.
And then I was like,
They put blue cheese on that?
yeah.
He pulled the data from Star Trek. I hate this. It is revolting.
I got to look it up. I'm pretty sure it had blue cheese
I
on
used
it.
to love
It did.
Something on it was not good.
The
It had
black
blue
and
cheese
blue
crumbles.
burger at Backyard Burgers
That
was
was a good burger.
I've tried that because I love just burgers, and I was like, all right, I'll try the special. And I was like, yeah, still don't like blue cheese.
well, it's super. I had to make myself like it just because
I
everybody
don't
talked
do
about it
that.
at culinary school and at restaurants. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn to like blue cheese and grapefruit juice, and
I like.
love
Just be
both
you,
of them
dog.
now.
I like the
You
crumbles.
don't like blue cheese? That's fine. I love you just the same.
I feel like it's not a natural human thing to like blue cheese.
Valid. I feel like this is a valid statement. Just be human, dog. It's cool.
But now it's my preferred wing dipping. I'd always rather have
Yeah,
blue cheese.
I think it's situational, but I do like a light crumbling of blue cheese on a salad.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that really tangy zip that
All
it
right.
adds.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I don't mind a little blue cheese.
Just a little.
On a
a little blue
salad.
cheese is
As a
is
treat.
okay.
Yeah. That's a good
Put a
point.
little blue cheese on a little fried fish.
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, don't do that.
well,
That
blue
would not be
cheese, and then I
well.
love goat cheese,
I do too.
but I can't
yeah,
have a
goat
heavy
cheese is
amounts
great.
of both. But yeah,
Goat cheese is
I
tasty.
fucking love the shit out of goat cheese. Ghost peppers.
See,
Yeah,
now I
man, I'll
fucked
put that at
myself.
1.
I got to put that at
That
8.
sounds good.
That should be at a. I didn't think about the pepper factor, but that I
Who's doing
can't
that?
eat them.
Someone's doing
One
that?
thing that it completely changes the profile of blue cheese is when you mix it with sriracha. And I love a blue cheese sriracha sauce with sweet potato fries.
Oh,
It's a weird combination.
that is
that
all
really,
over the
really
And those
place.
are two things I don't like and one thing that I think is pretty okay. I'd try it, man. I would try it, but I don't know. My bet is I wouldn't like it.
But then after ghost peppers, chicken thighs.
Yeah, I mean that's a 7.
4 because I don't have anywhere else to put it. I knew I was going to do this to myself.
Chicken thigh.
Not a successful draft for me this week, fellows.
I'm not a dark meat guy. I know that's like
I'm
I
not
feel like
either.
a lot of people are, but man,
I'm not at all. I don't care for it. I will eat a leg from time to time,
Yeah.
but for me, it's got to be white meat.
I'm the only person in my family that prefers dark meat. They all want white meat.
I feel like the dark meat. I feel like that's the meat that people who really love food. That's what they want.
I think
You know what I
that's
mean?
fair. Yeah.
Like, I like food, but I don't love food. Nikki made some tandoori chicken the other night that was good, but it was with thighs, and I was like, man, I just wish,
How much better would this taste if it had white meat chicken in it?
yeah, or lamb.
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
said. I was like, hey, can we try this with lamb? Maybe that would be all right? Yeah. I know it's a little more expensive and a lot more fatty than chicken, but I mean, yeah, it was thought. It's less. They're greasy, man. They kind of like that's what I don't like about it.
they are.
Is I don't like that the way
I
it
don't
makes
like
my
the-
mouth feel.
The fat and the gristle
Yeah.
and the grease.
Well,
It's
I
just-
think me growing up, I had so much extremely overcooked, dry
Dry
as
chicken,
shit chicken
yeah.
breast. So like the dark meat was like, oh man,
juicy.
this is
has
gonna make my
some-
mouth hurt.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. That white meat is totally drier, but
And you've got to cook it right to make it not be super dry.
I
'cause
guess-
it's very
it's
easy to do.
it's super easy to do.
I'm more interested in the chicken. The less flavor the chicken has, the more it is a device to deliver what it's been marinated in or what it's coated in, the better for me. When I can actually taste the meat of the chicken, which I feel like I can do. Like even that tandoori chicken, I was like, I can taste too much chicken. Like, I don't know.
Fair. Calamari,
Oh,
I
fuck.
like calamari. Like what kind?
the rings.
Fried
thinly
or is
sliced.
it like how is it on the pizza?
I'd say fried calamari.
All right, fuck yeah, man! Some
Say
fried calamari
That's-
on pizza.
That's when you say calamari. That's always my instant picture is fried, calamari rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if I put it at 2. That's a 5. That's my next open slot.
So basically, what I'm doing right now is my list is backwards. And so
Nope,
far,
sorry. You're
You're
everything's
upside down,
backwards.
man.
You gotta show this list to God when you die. This is
This is
your
what you're
list.
gonna eat for the rest of the time, the rest of eternity.
So Ian, what is your heaven's menu? Please show me your preferences.
of the pizza toppings
Fuck, man,
draft
you're
you
real.
did,
I'm in much bigger trouble than this list.
you're
The
not
Pope said
gonna.
atheists get into heaven. That hits your Venn diagram. Come, you're fine.
You're not gonna want to give me anything to eat after you look over my notes. After look at my life.
You'd fuck a pile of wood?
You realize, although it's not in the Bible, that is the worst sacrilege.
You know there are spiders in there, man.
That's why I put them there to discourage you from it.
David, my child.
The Simpsons gave me 5 fingers. I'm the only character that has 5.
Yes.
Ranch.
Number 1.
Is ranch dressing.
I dip my pizza in ranch.
Nikki does too. The pizza bone.
Just the pizza. I
The
dip
pizza
I
itself?
dip it the whole way through the slice. I love it.
It's my
love
backup.
Ranch
I
on
want
pizza.
marinara. I want like a red sauce to dip. But if I need a dip and I don't have that, then I'll fall back on ranch.
Yeah, that's my go-to. List is no longer upside down. Just from number 2 down, probably.
So I got a number 2 spot and I got a number 9 spot
How do you have 2 spots? Oh, because you haven't placed
because
ranch.
I haven't placed ranch yet. I like ranch. I don't eat a lot of ranch
Yeah.
because I'm worried about what it's going to do to me. But I like ranch.
Yeah.
But
What would you say is a lot of ranch?
do I number what's a lot of ranch?
Yeah.
I think it depends on what it's going on.
I need to be able to know. I need a number.
Because this is because it's a topping, so it is a primary. The amount of ranch on this is so much it would be considered a topping.
I don't think I. Oh,
That's a 9 then.
yeah. I mean, that's still going to be a 1 for me. Out of all of these, it's still.
It's
my
like it would
favorite.
almost be the ranch base almost.
They make a papadilla at Papa John's that's like a chicken, buffalo chicken that
God,
has like a
fucking
ranch-based
papadillas are
sauce.
So good.
They're so fucking
I used to
good.
get one.
I know.
I
know.
every
You were
Thursday
like, I got to
after
get
we
out of
record,
here.
I got to
Papa
get
John's is closing. I ordered my papadilla. I don't blame you. I had one the other day.
They're so good.
They're very good.
I
One
could
of
do a
them
ranch
has.
pizza topped with chicken and bacon.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
man.
this one is. It's
Yeah.
like a papadilla, but the sauce is like a ranch-based sauce. So yeah,
Last,
I only got one spot left.
chocolate.
Ugh, I fucked up.
on how is it just on top of like a pepperoni pizza?
Yeah.
Now
No.
with some, I would try some dark chocolate on a pepperoni, specifically on a pepperoni.
I could go for that.
It works with bacon.
Right.
I could go for that. I will try it because that doesn't disgust me to the extent of, say, I don't know, calamari. But yes, I would definitely try it. Number 2 for me.
Does anyone do that locally?
Not that I've seen.
Need to start. Do that and the Thanksgiving pizza. We have what we need to run a business.
Oh my God, yes. Thanksgiving pizza.
How you feel about your list? Ian's is backwards.
I feel terrible about my list.
I mean, ghost pepper's where it belongs.
Ranch is where it belongs. Everything else is completely fucking out of order based on the other items in the list.
So where would you put pineapple now?
Number 2.
From the bottom to second?
Number 2 slot under ranch. Given the others, given the other choices, that's the one most of the choices you gave me I've never had
Right.
on a pizza or thought about on a pizza.
Right.
I've had pineapple on pizza, I've had ranch on pizza. So those 2 go in the top 2 slots just because I know
not
that,
theoretical.
I know that flavor. Right. Everything else is theoretical, and so I can't really say without.
Theoretical Pizza should be the name of the pizza restaurant.
And my new Steam name.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Rhetorical Pizza.
There we go. Ooh, I like that even better.
All right. The second one.
All right.
Things to put in your ear.
Oh, man. Okay.
Fuck.
I was real excited up until we got to ear. A bowling trophy.
Number 1, duh.
Number 1, eardrops.
Oh, well, that seems like that belongs in the ear.
It feels like that's one of the few things that actually you should put in your ear.
Number 1.
I'm taking that as number 1 as well.
Eardrops.
Eardrops. ... Made of acid.
Yeah, Tabasco.
Next, olive oil. Olive oil.
Well, I feel like that doesn't belong in my ear.
I've heard that you can use olive oil as a drop to soothe earache.
Really?
Yeah, it helps, especially if your ears are real dried out and stuff. It helps sort of lubricate that canal, and it's, from what I understand, it's
Ooh,
safe.
yeah.
I say olive oil.
Popeye's girlfriend?
Yeah, no,
The lady who played Popeye's girlfriend played olive oil.
Shelley Duvall
Shelley Duvall
passed
also
away
passed
as well. Forgot to. I apologize. I should have added her to my list too because I love Shelley Duvall. That
Third.
poor woman and her experience in The Shining.
Holy fuck.
That fucked her up.
And the rest
y'all.
of her life. Like
For the rest of her life, that experience fucked her up. That motherfucker, that asshole.
oh yeah.
Fucking
separated her, tortured her.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful what they did to her. Olive oil. I'm gonna put olive oil at 4 just in case.
Yeah, I guess it's a 5. I don't know. 5. Olive oil.
Spelled OIL, not OY. Oil.
The next, a spider.
A spider.
A spider.
10.
10. Hey, can I tell you what's cool about having long hair?
No spiders.
Is when a spider falls out of it.
Oh God, not what I thought you were gonna say.
And you're like, oh,
That's been in there.
That's been in there.
Did it move
This is
out?
very Nightmare Before Christmas.
Or is
Yeah.
it just
It's
going
very
to the
Beetlejuice.
store? Is it coming back?
Right. Yeah. Are there more? Is this where they hang out?
So I need to submerge the top of my head for several hours.
It's not a good feeling.
Oh man.
No.
Oh man.
Because it's like, I don't know, man. And especially like, you know how bad it sucks to walk through a spider web
Yeah.
already?
You're
Now
the
I
spider
really
web.
think about it.
Now you're the spider web. Yeah, now you really
Candle wax. Candle wax, which is our friend TADPOG sweetheart Josh Nance is certified to do this.
Candle wax in the ear?
Candling your ears.
Oh, well,
Yep.
if he would do it, I'd say 2.
I'm gonna put that at 5, but I have heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
What's it supposed to do?
Pull out a bunch of earwax.
Really?
It's like, you know how they will sometimes pour an anthill full of molten aluminum, and then spray the ground away, and they've got this like mold.
Yeah.
I think that's what the wax
Aluminium.
does. Aluminium. Sorry.
According to the
See,
Dresden
now,
Files.
according to the Dresden Files, he probably
read it like
has.
James
He probably
Marsters.
has to say it. Aluminum. Can't
He
get
takes
that.
sanity damage when he says it.
But I think that's what it does. It like binds to the earwax, and then
Okay.
you take it out, and it just goes.
I bet it feels pretty good when it
Oh,
comes
it's
out.
awesome. I kind of want to do it.
Let's all call Josh.
Get
right
Josh to
now.
come over and do this on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have a whole kit and stuff when he was a massage therapist. He would also do ear candling.
Let's get the TADPOG Patreon to $5,000, and we'll all pay Josh to come put candle wax in our ears.
Okay.
He only gets $5 of it though.
Hey, look, we get the friend rate.
He gets his rate. We'll give him his rate. We'll still come out on top.
We provide the wax. Cut us a deal.
BYOW.
So, acid, the drug.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's a 9.
Yeah, me too. Acid sucks.
I haven't done it, but if I were going to do it, I don't think my first experience would be, yo, roll up that little Donald Duck stamp and put it in my ear.
Then you'll feel like your ear really has a tongue in it. Coming out of it.
3.
Coming out of it.
Oh. 4.
Peanut butter.
Is there a purpose for that? Or is it just for the fucking hell of it?
Just got to go in your ear, man.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, it does sound bad.
PB, number 8.
The system AI wants it, or it's going to keep sending monsters after you in the dungeon. You should put peanut butter in your ear.
New achievement. You put peanut butter in your ear.
Gross.
What are you,
What the
stupid?
fuck, man?
What the fuck? Are you 4?
A used Q-tip
Used by me or used by somebody else?
used by someone else.
Ooh.
8.
7.
I'm running out of bottom
Me
spots.
2. 7. Glad I locked eardrops into number 1.
Yeah.
Wet cat hair.
How much?
Enough to
A
coat,
dollop?
enough to coat a finger.
How do we measure cat hair? In dollops? Wet
You
cat
get your
hair.
finger wet and you dip it in a pile, and that's what comes out. Goes in
Do
your
a
ear.
dollop of cat hair. I guess that's going in 6.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, man. I'm going to gamble. It's going 4 for me. I love my cat. If it's my cat's fur, then
There's plenty already in there.
yeah. I mean, it's everywhere else.
That's what the candle wax is supposed to get, is all the cat hair out of your ear
I'm gonna
from
hold
owning a cat.
I'm going to keep 6 open for something that might be worse than cat hair.
Sand.
God
That
damn
would
it.
be it.
Sand.
God damn it. Well, that's a hard 3.
Like a bunch of sand? Or just like...
Enough to shake Lord Vader.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, it gets everywhere.
I got sandy ears, everyone.
Because like going to the beach, I get sand in my ear. Like, you
it
know,
happens.
trace
You get
amounts of
sand in
sand.
everything at the
Yeah.
beach, yeah.
I'm okay with that. But if it's like a funnel, or it's like, yo, homie, let's get that acid out of your ear, put a funnel, and I'm gonna get like a
Seventh guest
sand pail
style.
shovel worth, and
Seventh guest style. Just dump it in there. Pack it in.
I guess it's a 6, I suppose.
3 for me because I wanted it to be there. I do this on a regular basis. If only slot 1 was still open.
Lastly, water.
Oh, okay.
I get water in my ear all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You go swimming, you go in the shower. I get it water in my ear all the fucking time. I think I've got water in my ear right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just like used to it. That's number 2.
It's 3 for me. It's the only spot I had open.
I'm thinking about going and having my ears like professionally cleaned. Like
I'm on that side of TikTok. It looks pretty good.
Gage told me he went and had to have that done because my sinuses are really bad and they never fully drain. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Decongestants don't work. Yada yada yada. Gage said he went and had his ears cleaned.
Have you ever used the neti pot to get off?
I'm
I've heard
afraid
those are dangerous.
I'm afraid
I
to
don't
do
know
that.
Yeah, if I have Time Lord Josh Edwards' wife does them very frequently, loves them, lives by them. It's greatly diminished her sense of smell,
Oh, shit.
but otherwise good. You just have to be careful. Like it has to be like very, very clean water.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna fuck yourself up. And
Well,
Yeah, I don't want to just
it's good when you have a cold to get all that just gunk out.
he
You talking
said
about
that
an
he
ear
had
lavage?
his, huh?
You talking about an ear lavage? Like where they go in with
I guess whatever he had done, he said they cleaned out his ear canals and got everything out,
Yeah.
and it was like he could hear in high definition after that. He said it was like ridiculous. So I've been meaning to like do that, but I'm also super weird about my ears and hearing. I can hear things when I hear things like that going on in them. It freaks me out, but I will be willing to tough it out because I want my ears to work.
So spider the worst all the way around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, there we go.
Good
Blind
drafts. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, it was great.
I
Thank
like
you.
doing them.
You guys want to take a little break and talk about good old Dick Tracy? I got trivia. I got a TADPOG totals list. I got a letter from Brad. I got it all, folks. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll do it.
Calling all adventure fans, calling all Dick Tracy fans. Stand by. Dick Tracy is on the air. Now, the makers of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, those two specially delicious quick energy cereals that are shot from guns, bring you another thrilling Dick Tracy adventure. Are you good at games, one of the best in your crowd? Or do you get left out of a lot of fun because you can't keep up with the rest of the crowd? Well, Dick Tracy wants you to be one of the best, one of those lucky boys or girls who's just as alive with trigger-fast energy as Dick Tracy is himself. And I know you want to be, too. And that's why you always hear the big guns on these thrilling Dick Tracy programs. They remind you to get the trigger-fast food energy you need from hearty, tempting breakfasts of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice every day. Those two delicious cereals really are shot from big guns, not just to make them look different and taste better than ordinary cereals, but to make them specially easy to digest, so that thousands of active boys and girls and grown-ups get lots of trigger-fast food energy every day in breakfast that tastes extra good. And remember, Mother's always glad, and so is Dad, when there's a big dish of crisp, delicious Quaker Puffed Wheat or Quaker Puffed Rice for breakfast. So be sure to ask Mother to get some for all of you from the grocer.
And now for the movie and game talk.
Movie and game talk. Boop, 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 boop.
This just in from the wire.
Dick Tracy is a hit.
Questionable.
America's newest crime fighter sweeping the nation.
Cut to a montage.
I'll do it. Don't think I
You'll
won't
punch
do it.
out 8 guys in one swing. A moment that Nikki and I both laughed out loud at when it happened in the movie.
So,
What's your fighting style? just haymakers.
Yeah.
Huge
Everything.
power attack, drop it all, haymakers, one
Look,
after the
look,
other.
dude. And I know we're completely out of order, but I do want to say this.
You are out of order, sir.
This whole court's out of order. The scene where Dick Tracy is like beating the shit out of the dude in the shed who won't give the kid chicken. Like,
That made Tadpog totals.
oh great. I'm really glad to hear that, because it's like those fucking punches, like when I was watching that, I was like, is that Warren Beatty? Because like dude's gonna fucking pull his arm out of his socket. with
That
these
wouldn't hurt
fucking-
Marv, since he's clearly punching Marv from Sin City.
Yeah, no shit. Good call.
Okay. I'm going to do Tadpog
Okay,
totals.
please.
Before we start talking about the movie.
You're right, yeah.
I got to add one real quick.
I've also got facts about Warren Beatty.
Okay,
to
I
get
don't know
over.
anything about Warren Beatty. This might be the only Warren Beatty movie I've seen.
I have some facts about Warren Beatty too. We'll see if they match up. Okay. This week's Tadpog Totals is about Dick Tracy, the 1990 hit starring and directed by Warren Beatty.
Hit again. I don't think
not
this
gonna-
word means what you think it means.
It's a hit.
Okay.
I'm
It
not
won,
gonna-
it won 3 Oscars, I think.
won 3 Oscars.
It won 3?
Yes, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me do the totals and we'll go through it all. I'm not going to read the whole list like an old-timey radio announcer.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, starting off, we have copious matte backgrounds, all the primary colors, thousands of shadows, one trash can cheese sandwich, one wrist radio that's actually more functional than an Apple Watch and apparently has better battery life, uncountable fedoras, Tommy gun graffiti, an unlimited supply of face putty, copious Madonna close-ups, 2 Madonna breasts, 1 sheer Madonna revealing nightgown, 1 Madonna ass slap, 1 Madonna belly slap,
A punch.
1 light pole face bash, 3 Madonna face slaps, 1 Shaq-based fist fight in fast motion, 1 snidely whiplash looking Al Pacino, 1 bumper riding orphan, oyster slurping, chicken leg devouring, steak devouring, pie devouring, sandwich devouring, ice cream devouring, and oatmeal spitting. 1 Danny Elfman soundtrack composed while the Batman soundtrack was stuck in his head. Cement Cotta, Dick Van Dyke Cotta, several fake Dick Tracys, 1 with a bucket for a head. 1 Dustin Hoffman Rain Man reprisal. 1 Kathy Bates stenographer. 1 polar, one randomly. 1 polar bear penis based water dispenser / tape recorder. 1 attempted boiler based explosion homicide. 1 casino switcheroo. Several due process violations. 1 implausibly insecure breathless Mahoney. 1 faceless villain that sounds exactly like Bosch from Return of the Jedi. Spoilers, it's Madonna, not Princess Leia. Copious money dumping. Copious radio news announcer speaking into a square microphone shots. 1 literal monkey wrench in the villain's plans. 1 Al Pacino beat down. 1 Al Pacino dropped into an apparent bottomless pit. That's Tadpog totals for Dick Tracy. I do have some Wizen Sage's Acting Brilliant thank you awards to hand out to, first of all, Madonna as Breathless Mahoney for such lines as, I'm wearing black underwear and I get sick when you eat. And one
You can't tell me the lips is eat pussy like
one
a
for
fucking
Al
bad thing.
Pacino, one for Al Pacino as Big Boy Caprice for such lines as, you have just said goodbye to oxygen. And I am the law.
Homie.
And they crave leadership. You have to tell them everything. And then finally, the last Acting Brilliant thank you award is for Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy for such lines as, do you have any ice cream? And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The friend of my enemy is my enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy. 3 stars. Wizen Sage says check
Dude,
it out.
those Al Pacino lines, like, holy shit,
Good
dude.
shit.
But near the end, what are you playing hide and seek? And it's like,
He's
what the
so
fuck is going on?
This movie got to me. I actually really enjoyed the movie. I did. I had a good time watching it. I didn't remember it. You know, this movie's hot on the heels of the original Batman. You can tell this is exactly the kind of thing they were going for. That comic book.
Oh, when I
old-esque.
saw this, my first thought was, this is what Batman Forever and Batman and Robin wanted to be.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
they took that slider too far.
Yeah.
Where I feel like this movie gets that feel just about right.
As maybe most of you might know, this was originally a comic strip by Chester Gould, who wrote and drew the strip himself from 1931 when it debuted all the way up until 1977, and then it continued under
weird.
other management after that. Yeah, and then Dick's famous two-way wrist radio was introduced in 1946. Apparently, the character that created it was called Brilliant. A lot of one-name names, one-word names in this series, and was the inventor of all the series gadgets until he was tragically killed off due to a botched security detail in 1948. Dick Tracy was a radio show that ran for a long time in the 30s and 40s. It was a comic book series. There was a series of film serials created as well as this movie. So, all in all, Dick Tracy was kind of a big fucking deal. I mean, he was a very popular thing. The movie features, as we've said, Warren Beatty, who starred as Dick Tracy and directed the film. Madonna
Still owns the copyright.
And Dave's got a lot of good facts for us on that.
The film rights.
Yeah. Madonna, Al Pacino, Glenn Headley, who played Tess Trueheart. If you haven't seen her in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, I highly recommend it. That is a great fucking movie
I
with
haven't seen that
Steve Martin
forever.
and
I was a child, I think, last I saw it.
who was it? Steve Martin and Michael Caine were in that together. Fucking fantastic movie. Highly recommend that. Mandy Patinkin was in this.
Which I had to look up. I was like, is that Mandy
It
Patinkin?
is. It is. Charles Durning, William Forsythe, Dustin Hoffman, Dick Van Dyke, Paul Sorvino, James Caan, Charles Fleischer, better known as the voice of Roger Rabbit, Catherine O'Hara, who has no speaking lines in this movie. She was sitting. She was the woman at the conference table when he was Al Pacino. Big Boy Caprice was having the big meeting, trying to join all the crime.
Is she in the
together.
veil?
That's
oh
her.
Oh my god!
It is absolutely her. She speaks 0 words in the whole movie, but that is Catherine O'Hara.
Wow.
And a whole lot of
What a
others.
waste.
This is. It really, truly is. She
And
would have been
honestly,
perfect.
Like when you mentioned Dick Van Dyke, I love Dick Van Dyke.
Same.
What a waste.
What a waste.
Van Dyke.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
listen, there is a 2.5 hour long cut of this movie.
Yep.
That,
I saw that.
that
Yep.
is out there. It was they had to keep it. They had to cut
The
it.
president of Walt Disney demanded it be dropped to an hour 45.
Yeah, because they felt like it was just way too much, especially at the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't have wanted. I got bored watching this movie.
Yeah.
Because I felt like once I saw all the cool stuff,
It was.
I didn't like the story. I didn't like the fact that it was a love story that like involved 2 characters. I absolutely gave 0 fucking shits
I get
about.
it. I get it.
Breathless Mahoney is just like.
It's just hard to. Yeah, I know what you mean, and I enjoyed it because I thought it was fun, and I think it had a lot to do with the fact that I didn't hate it as much as I thought I did. So I could walk away from it saying, okay, I liked it fine. It was okay.
It
But
was
you're not
weird,
right.
man.
The story was weak and it leaned too heavy into its stylization.
I just felt like constantly I felt like this movie didn't know if it was for kids or if it was for adults, because it's like there's lots of stuff that are like that is appealing to kids in this movie. But then there's also this like really, really uncomfortable tension between Breathless and Dick Tracy.
Yeah, when she
Madonna
just bends over on his desk. And
Yeah,
shit.
she literally
when she gets on the
assumes
desk.
the
I liked
position.
that.
I did too. I also liked the negligee that you could see through.
I
That
liked
was pretty
that.
fucking awesome.
That's great. But I'm also like, I don't.
That's
Maybe
all. Why did Melissa have her on her nightgown as a kid?
Right. Why is that a thing?
maybe I'm more of a pearl clutcher than I thought I was.
No,
but like,
I think
there are
there's
several
a time and
scenes
a
where I was
place.
like, "This is a PG movie."
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
like children saw this in the theater with their parents,
Yeah.
and
The kids saw Madonna's nipple.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like
But you're right. There is a time and a place. I mean, there's a.
it just
and
felt like it
felt
was
like it was out of place.
was out of
too
place.
much. And Warren Beatty was dating Madonna when
Right.
they were filming this movie, and they didn't last much past the
Nope.
premiere.
I heard he was kind of a monster, is what I've heard.
I don't know about that.
Gene Hackman was supposed to be in it, but then when Beatty was going to direct it, he was like, I'm out. They were in like Reds together, and he said he'd never be directed by Beatty ever again.
There's been rumor, apparently, let's see, Danny Elfman, who composed the music, as I
Sure,
mentioned earlier,
yeah.
said that Warren Beatty was impressed with his work on Batman from 1989. And on working with Beatty, Elfman said that Warren is insane. And apparently, but after this, he and Annette Bening got together, and they've been together ever since. Tanya and I have been married 9 months longer than Warren Beatty and Annette Bening. So that's a long relationship, especially in Hollywood, especially to a guy that is rumored to be kind of a nut job.
Mm-hmm.
But
You've been married one gauge longer.
yeah, maybe that may be true. Al Pacino said that Madonna flashed him during the rehearsals for this movie, opening her coat to reveal she was naked underneath. And Pacino has
believe that.
frequently joked. I do too. Pacino has frequently joked when he's old, if he is observed with a beatific smile on his face, it will be because he is recalling the incident. Which I do not blame.
Didn't he
Because
just
she
get
looked.
married to like a 27-year-old or some
yes.
shit?
Like just got married.
Yeah.
The 83-year-old guitarist for Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, just married a 32-year-old woman. He was 50 when she was born.
50.
50. So go figure on that. Anyway,
Madonna's one person I've never gotten that appeal.
I love Madonna.
I agree with that statement.
I've said so 100 times.
Yeah.
I love Madonna in the early years, and
Yeah.
I actually love the way she looked in this movie. But as her career has progressed, I've liked less and less.
Yeah.
Her early work was my favorite stuff, but
I had the conversation. I had that exact conversation with Nikki the day after we watched Dick Tracy. I was like, Madonna never really has like,
I've never
I
gotten
can
it.
see she's an attractive woman, and there are several scenes in the movie where it's like, God damn, Madonna. Like when
Well,
she,
Melissa said this is the best, in her opinion, this is the best Madonna's ever looked is in this.
I can absolutely agree with that statement. I think she looks fantastic in this. Love her hairstyle, love her whole thing. She's like just the right age, that late 20s. It's great.
My favorite Madonna media is Evan
League of Their
Rachel
Own?
Wood playing Madonna in the Weird Al.
oh, sure.
the Weird Al movie.
I like her in A League of Their Own. In my opinion,
Okay,
that's where
she's
she
good at
looks
that.
the
League of-
best.
yeah,
To
yeah.
Yeah,
me.
because
Okay.
she looks just regular.
Yeah,
like
she
a
looks
normal
regular,
woman.
and I like
that
I like that.
100%. 100%.
How do you like your Madonnas? Regular.
regular.
I'll have
Please.
one regular
One
Madonna
regular.
to go.
You know what?
please.
Big cones? No, I don't. It seems very like counterproductive to have big cones on the breast.
Venti cone? No.
No.
Just plain,
Just
plain,
plain
regular
Madonna, please. Yeah.
In a cup,
You want
please.
a bud?
Just in a cup, we'll be fine. $47 million budget this movie had. It grossed nearly $104 million. It was a big
That is
success.
a hit. Yeah.
Al Pacino was nominated for Best Supporting Actor
That's wild.
and didn't win. He didn't win, but he was nominated.
I like him in it.
I did too.
Yeah.
he was
But
very
you
Al
need
Pacino.
that
Yeah.
big caricature, yeah.
Yeah, big person.
But I've heard this is kind of like one of the first movies where he like makes that pivot.
that cuts loose
Yeah,
into that crazy
right.
old man
Yeah.
territory. Yeah, I agree. It did win for Best Makeup, and it won for Best Original Song. The Sooner or Later song that's playing during the casino
Yeah.
bust montage.
I could have taken her left that.
I think that was just heavily. It was written by Stephen Sondheim, so right there you've got almost a shoe in as a winner. Sung by Madonna at the time. You can't get better than that. I mean, it was a pretty big deal. Not a great song. It's not as memorable.
It did not impress me. I could have taken her left that.
At one point during the movie, Tanya blurted out, "Oh, when's Batman coming?" Because there was one scene there in that scene, or towards the end, where it literally sounded like.
And he's running with his
on the
with
roof.
his long coat behind him. Yeah.
I mean, it was like she came in. She's like, "When's Batman gonna show up?" I'm like,
How
"Any
great
fucking minute."
would that
now."
have been?
Oh, it would have been perfect. So that's what I have trivia wise, and about Dick Tracy.
So it won for makeup.
Makeup.
That is not a big surprise, even though
a lot of makeup.
I liked it a lot. That's another one where I felt like this movie didn't know. I felt like it didn't have really good direction because it's like those, like the prosthetics are so grotesque.
They're just insane.
And I understand that that's the point, and I can appreciate that that's the point, but it feels right for Dick Tracy because I've never read Dick Tracy. I'll be honest. I kind of do want to read a little bit, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I only think I want to read it because I love those character designs so much.
Yeah.
Those character designs and the illustrations they're fucking great. They're fantastic. I love those. But do I actually want to sit down and like read a story? Maybe not. But I do feel like those character designs are accurately portrayed in the movie.
Yeah.
But it feels like Garbage Pail Kids.
It really does.
That's probably why Melissa liked it so much.
It is
Did you like
so
Garbage Pail
rough.
Kids?
Fucking obsessed with Garbage Pail Kids.
I had a fucking binder full of those fucking.
There's a famous illustrator, Art Spiegelman. He did a famous graphic novel called Mouse, which is like a Holocaust story.
Yeah, MAUS, right?
MAUS. He started out by doing work for Garbage Pail Kids and does not like to talk about it.
Yeah.
But those illustrations are so good, man. My mom wouldn't let me collect Garbage Pail Kids when I was a child.
I had to hide mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they look like in the movie. To me, they look like Garbage Pail
They
Kids.
really do.
Which is very cool, but also like so distracting.
And sometimes the lighting is so harsh that you can see the makeup.
Yeah. I was curious how much of that was me watching an HD version.
I had a
of the-
4K version
Right, okay.
that we were watching, and it was extremely. They didn't plan
You
for
could see
that.
Prune Face's brush strokes.
Well, you
Oh,
could
yeah, you
actually
could see,
see
like-
the mustache glue that held on the mustache that Big Boy Al Pacino was wearing. In one scene, that he's literally right under a light, and he's yelling, and you can see the mustache glue on underneath it because it's just so. It wasn't intended to be shown in 4K,
And I feel like when Manless was eating those oysters, like you could kind of like
God.
see like his actual face like under, from like behind the mouth. And
God, that was so
again,
gross.
Wouldn't have noticed that in the movie theater at the time, but
So do you guys think that another Dick Tracy movie could be made, only this time less caricature and more kind of like real world?
I don't know who would watch it.
I don't either. I'm just saying, do you think it would work to do it, a movie like that, without all of the like extreme stuff? This movie was just a volume of extremes for the. And one of the neat things was, like I mentioned in my TADPOG totals list, the matte backgrounds.
Yeah, I love those.
Matte backgrounds are used in movies all the time to establish a wide shot of a thing that doesn't exist.
Right.
But usually they're done in a more realistic fashion, so it looks real.
Yeah,
this
these
was done
intentionally
as a
done
comic
different.
book.
I think they're beautiful,
and it was really cool.
But I do, it's really cool. But I feel like in the beginning of the movie, I feel like we're hit with a lot of really strong visuals. Whether you love them or hate them, I think you're hit immediately.
Bright
with
colors,
like these colors,
stark shadows.
I loved it. I love the
everything.
colors.
Yeah,
and
very
what they did with it. And it's like they did it where it's like, and I felt like it was shot in a very noir style, but with color, with like bright color. And I thought that was an amazing feat.
Agreed.
I loved it. I loved all those matte backgrounds that you mentioned.
It reminded me of that one movie. Go ahead. I'll think of it.
I feel like they backed off of it. I feel like they front loaded the first 20 minutes of the movie with that. And then I feel like we didn't see it again.
Yeah.
Because it's like you get that scene where Dick Tracy's beating the shit out of the dude in the shed, and the shed's doing
It's
the
kind of a
cartoon
wide shot
stuff.
swaying back and forth. Yeah.
And then I feel like we don't really get much of that anymore. Because like even when Dick is like spying on the gangster meeting.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they don't really explain why he gets on the second story.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. So maybe that's in the extended cut. Because, like,
Well, he uses the light pole,
yeah.
but it's not shown. But he uses that light pole to get off the roof.
Right.
And I don't know if he did that stunt.
That was him.
And he hit his face on the pole.
Well, yeah, because he looks
You
like he goes to
see it.
bear hug it.
He jumps for the pole. It's like this tall, curved pole. He jumps for the pole, and you see him bash his face into the pole. That really happened to Warren Beatty because he insisted on doing his own stunt. I don't know how you didn't have to have stitches. That motherfucker hit his face real hard on that fucking pole.
He could have came out Mickey Rourke on the other side of that.
Yeah, but you're right. They don't establish how he gets up
Why
there.
is he
I
up
thought
there?
it was at ground level,
He
and then
was.
and then they cut away to the cops that were watching him.
He was, and they're like, yeah, they're in there. And then all of a sudden he's on the second story.
third
It's like,
floor. It's like,
why are
wait.
you? Why are you there?
At that same
And then he's
moment.
on the roof.
It's Dick Tracy, Dave.
Yeah.
It's Dick Tracy.
Let me go over. I'll do my,
Yes.
my Beatty facts.
Do your thing.
Please.
So Carly Simon wrote the song "You're So Vain." The song was about a few men, but she only ever revealed one of them to be Warren Beatty.
Yep, I've heard that.
When she released the song, he immediately called her and said, "Thanks for the song."
I bet this song is about me.
So he's supposedly one of the biggest playboys in Hollywood history. His biographer claimed that he had slept with over 12,000 women. Apparently, one of them was a nun. Beatty denies both of them, but will admit he's been with a lot of women. Joan Collins dated him, woke up in the middle of the night to see him admiring himself in the mirror. But she said she'd never met a man with his skill set or pace.
Referring to the fucking.
Yeah, she
Okay.
when she could maintain the pace of fucking him 7
got a
times a
good
day,
pace.
he didn't cheat on her. But once she couldn't do 7 times a day anymore, then he started cheating.
Drop down to 6. Yeah, that's the problem.
Damn, son.
Madonna and Beatty dated while filming Dick Tracy. And by then, he was starting to calm down.
She was too extreme for him.
But she was very complimentary of everything about him. Natalie Wood dated him in the early 60s.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Daily, and the relationship was fraught with daily eruptions. She later said that we were both so
What I
confused
hear.
that what we believed was fighting was actually real emotional honesty. The relationship ended when she tried to take her own life. Cher and Warren dated, having a fling before she was well known. He accidentally ran her off the road. They went back to his house. She made a move and she fucked him.
All right, share.
Diane Keaton dated Beatty for a few years, saying he's so seductive he makes you feel like you're the only person in the world that matters. He's so fascinated by you.
The man I saw in this movie?
Yep.
They're talking about the
The
man.
guy that played Dick Tracy.
This-
That's who they're
this-
talking about.
this- Is Dick Tracy actually this bumbling? Because I do feel like unless Dick Tracy's punching a guy, I felt like he had no idea what the fuck was going on.
He didn't know what was going on when he was punching a guy either.
Mary Tyler Moore dated Warren at the same time he was dating Diane Keaton. It worked for him because they both lived in the same building, and he would just go apartment to
Oh
apartment.
my
fucking.
God.
Diane ended it when she spotted Warren and Mary Tyler Moore together through one of the windows. Janice Dickinson saw Beatty club juggling phone calls between multiple
That's what I hear
girlfriends. She was at
about
a
him.
club and he had multiple phones juggling all his girlfriends. But she was still eventually seduced by him and fucked him. She said, he was amazing, if you must know. I never tried not to let myself fall for him. I knew he'd be making dozens of girls feel the exact same way I was at the same time. Iman dated Beatty for years before marrying David Bowie, but she refuses to talk about it.
Oh.
Julie Christie dated Warren Beatty for 8 years. She said her relationship full of arguments. She claimed the reason Christie knew Beatty would be the trouble because he was dating dozens of women at any given time. Simon dated Beatty in the early 70s. He called her one night and said, I need to see you. I only have a few hours. She said he knew all the pressure points to make you melt, like he had invented his own manual. I told my therapist the next day about it, and she said, you aren't the only patient I've had today that slept with Warren Beatty last night.
Oh my God. Damn, dude.
Michelle Phillips, who was dating Beatty's friend Jack Nicholson, would sneak off with Beatty. She was madly in love with him, but said she admitted she could never handle him or fulfill him.
Damn, he cucked Jack Nicholson.
And then Annette
One flew over the cuckold's nest.
Annette Bening met
Best
Beatty in the
one tonight.
90s, and she was the woman who tamed him.
Who was? I'm sorry.
Annette Bening.
Annette Bening.
He
Okay,
describes being mesmerized within the first 20 seconds of meeting her. They went on to marry and have children.
Annette Bening hot as fuck, and I get it, but that's weird. I mean, I don't. It's just weird that that's where he landed after having this just crazy fuck fest of a life, and then Annette Bening was the answer all along. Like, good for her, or good for him.
Good for both of them.
Good for both of them. I'm happy that they're still together.
That's all my Beatty facts.
I'm
Nice.
surprised.
I love that.
Because Warren Beatty was before my time. Because I honestly, aside from Dick Tracy, I had never. I haven't seen anything he's in, but I know his name.
Yeah.
Like he used to be like the god of Hollywood.
Maybe he's our dad.
Yeah, maybe.
He's all of
He's
our
like Alexander the Great, where it's like, oh shit, you're Warren Beatty's grandson too.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like this movie it could be done today if it was in some unique style. Like I mentioned Sin City.
That's what I was trying to think of. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes.
The colors and the costuming and how the weird makeup would look
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that style. But then again, now we would just be copying Sin City. So,
Right.
but then I see if you made it too gritty and realistic, you're just making Robert Pattinson's Batman.
True.
So I don't know what the
But I mean, it's,
formula would be to make it
The
work.
Dick
now.
Tracy we're talking about followed the original Batman. It stands to reason. It's time. It's right time for another Dick Tracy movie, I guess.
I was surprised to see the kid from Hook. I was like, oh, he did another
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, thanks.
God,
I was trying to place him.
He was great in that movie.
Because
By
he's
the
bought
way.
3 movies: Hook, this, and Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
So he was the geek protagonist in Can't Hardly Wait.
I loved this kid, the kid in this movie. He was great. He was a breath of fresh air, and I thought that some of the funniest and most genuine actual acting happened in the presence of that kid. When that kid was in the scene, everyone was doing good work.
Yeah.
And when he wasn't, it was hit or miss.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he pulled the cleanest cheese sandwich you've ever seen out of a trash can.
I thought that too. I was like, that's not
They could have dirtied it up a little bit.
that's not a real trash can cheese sandwich. Believe me.
Trash can cheese sandwiches also bring good steam.
If anyone knows a good trash can cheese sandwich, it's this guy.
Old Ian's eating a few too many trash cheese sandwiches out of a trash can.
More than I care to admit.
Did I have to financially? No. Did I like it?
I like them that way. It was on top of the trash. It was on top.
I've seen you eat more trash can cheese sandwiches than Warren Beatty has fucked women.
12,001. That's why I did it. Someone would notice and recognize that.
I gotta take my break early. I got a quota to meet.
Fuck, I left my trash can at home. I gotta go home for lunch today.
Call
It's
your
the
wife, have her
23rd?
bring the trash can.
It's the 23rd already? Shit.
You got your Google Calendar is just full of like eat trash cheese sandwich. Shit, I'm late for my 5
I'm
o'clock.
changing my name on Discord.
What's the deal with the watch? When I was a kid, I felt like the only thing I knew about Dick Tracy was that he had a cool watch, and then like he doesn't really use it in the movie.
It's a radio. That's all it ever was. But you're right. It didn't focus as much on the watch
That's
as you
all
think.
I cared about when
That's
I was
all
a kid.
anyone cared about.
Well, I guess in
me
the
too.
40s that was really cool.
Oh God, that was a fucking.
In the 90s, I thought it was cool.
It was like an unbelievable thing. I mean, I'm sitting here with my Apple Watch on like it's nothing, but it's
That's the first thing I thought when the Apple Watch came out was
me too.
Oh, like in Dick Tracy.
Yeah, that I know nothing about. Yeah, exactly.
Never seen the movie.
The guy wears a yellow fucking hat and fedora, and he has a radio on
Curious
his
George's
wristwatch.
dad going around punching dudes.
Yeah.
God. But I really I was entertained the whole time through this movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was fine.
I wasn't like fuck yeah, but I was okay. I was good.
I agree. I was too. I surprisingly
I thought it was a fine movie.
Was fine.
Boring. Boring. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. I thought that, man, I think this movie would have been so much better if it hadn't been Madonna and it hadn't been Warren Beatty. I just feel like it's a love story with like a man who like has no emotion.
Right.
He has no emotion.
He won't commit. He won't say the words.
He asks a woman to marry him by literally throwing a ring at her. And it's like,
you're all
how
right.
romantic.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, dick. Of course I'll marry you. Now get out there and fight crime,
It's
you
the
big
40s.
lug.
Scraps is all we get. All right.
If it hadn't been I just feel like
I'm 30. I'm not getting any younger.
I don't know, man. As a love story, I feel like it didn't work, and I feel like that's what it was trying to do. I felt like it was trying to be a love story, and I feel like it was trying to be a love story because Warren Beatty wanted his girlfriend in the movie at the time.
And she happened to be a singer, and she happened to fit the role.
I wish it had just been like a gangster movie first, and then like I'm fine with like a love story B plot, but I felt like that was.
It was.
And
You're right.
Apparently, this just 100% went over my fucking head because we're watching it and Melissa's like, so who do you think No Face is?
Oh, I didn't know either
And I
because
was
it's
like-
fucking stupid.
I figured it
it's
was
so
just
fucking stupid.
all the makeup from all the crazy people. So I
Right.
figured it's just a guy with no face.
Same, girl.
Right.
Same.
Because when No Face is on the phone calling, it looks like the one end of the phone is a voice box modulator.
Yeah.
So I thought No Face was speaking through a voice modulator because they had no mouth or some shit. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Sure.
Bring
No,
it.
it's supposed to be somebody in disguise. Didn't get that at all.
I had no idea.
No,
Why would you?
Get it.
And like
it doesn't track that it was somebody in disguise.
no, which I do think that's
I
kind
thought
of
it was just like the villain for Dick Tracy 2 is going to be No Face.
Which I mean, I do because I didn't know. I've never read Dick Tracy. I thought No Face or The Blank. I guess they're also called
Faceless,
Faceless.
I think was the name.
It makes sense. You have all these grotesque gangsters.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is another thing where it's like, it's so, and I know this isn't the movie's fault, but it's straight up like, this guy is grotesque. Therefore, he must be evil.
Yep.
And it's like, well, I know who the good guys are and the bad guys are, except for Dick Van Dyke, I guess.
Well, all the reporters
James
were
Caan.
funny looking.
that is true.
James Caan
And
was
James
normal.
Caan.
Yeah, I bet James Caan was like, I'll
Fuck
be
this shit.
I'll be in this movie for 45 seconds, but I am not putting on one of those fucking costumes.
Yeah.
I signed on to this, but I'm not fucking put that on. I don't care if you kill me in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
Say no more.
Dude, the fact that the faceless one it was literally Bosch from
Yeah, I
Star
know.
Wars.
That's the first thing
from
I thought
Jedi.
of. I thought
it
maybe
was
he
the
had a
same
Thermal detonator.
Yeah.
It would have been great if C-3PO showed up.
Bring me Solo and the Wookiee. God, it was weird
Yeah,
hearing that
it was
because
the same.
there's no question about the fact that it was the same.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Return of
I
the
know.
Jedi 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, is Princess Leia in there? Is that what we're doing? It could have been, it wouldn't have surprised me if Carrie Fisher popped out at the end.
I would have preferred Carrie Fisher popping up.
I would have preferred Carrie Fisher to just be in it instead of
Yeah.
Madonna,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
That was fun about Blues Brothers when Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
Hell yeah, she was
Yes.
one of the best
She's
characters
great
in
in
Blues Brothers.
I love
Jesus.
that.
Psycho ex-girlfriend.
I was confused at the end when it's just like all of a sudden it's like, now we're just killing everybody. We've all got Tommy guns and we're just
I know.
killing everybody. Fuck it.
And I thought it was like,
That's why I put the several due process violations in my
all of a sudden it's
list.
just like doesn't matter anymore. They framed
You know
me.
what?
They're all dead.
We're just tired of crime. We're killing them all. We'll solve that problem easy.
I liked Flat Top. I thought Flat Top was a good secondary
William
villain.
Forsythe.
Yeah, I thought he was good. He reminded me of Alfred E. Newman.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. Just like if his head was like hit with an arrow.
Alfred E. Newman and the monster from Looney Tunes when Bugs Bunny does his hair and parts it in the middle and it bunches up on the
Gossamer, right?
Gossamer.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, the end of the movie when it's revealed like who Faceless is, when like Dick is walking towards it, and then I saw like the two eye slits in the mask, and it was like I just kind of looked at Nikki and I was like, oh no. Oh, why couldn't it just be a thug guy? And then it's revealed that it's Breathless, and it's like,
and then she has this really long and drawn out death scene.
Yeah.
I mean, given the the space in which all that happened, it took up most of that scene. It wasn't great.
although I did like her plot. I liked her.
The kind of the victim of circumstance. She was kind of being treated as property, and was tired of it.
Everything that Libs had is mine now. Everything, all of it. Come on.
Grabs her exactly. They really you're right. That was a good plot
show
point
business.
for the character.
No, I love that. But it like what I didn't like was I understand that the filmmaker, like Warren Beatty, wanted that to be a big reveal,
Right.
but because of the way Breathless was and the whole fucking first hour and 30 minutes I'd seen the movie, it really felt like, that's not believable,
Yeah.
She was landed on pretty fucking thick.
really thick.
I wonder if Beatty cast Dick Van Dyke just so he could be like, I fucked your TV wife.
Oh,
Fucked her.
Bet you never got to fuck Mary Tyler Moore.
I would
because I
love
did.
it.
You tripping over the ottoman and I was fucking her.
I would love to see that interaction because I don't know how Dick
They're
Van
both
Dyke
still alive.
would-
They can talk about it now. She's dead. They can have a conversation.
So apparently Warren Beatty has the film rights to Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke Tracy. Dick Van Tracy.
It was part of
That's
the deal.
ultimate cuck is to fuck
Yeah.
her and then get the
It was
rights.
part of the deal with fucking Mary Tyler Moore.
No,
she
you
got
two
the
slept in
rights to
separate beds?
So Mary Tyler Moore fucked Elvis and Warren Beatty.
She fucked Elvis? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep, they did a movie together, and it was that they were
fuck
together
that
on
kind of
set.
movie?
Yeah.
He's got the film rights to the movie, and he holds on to those film rights by being interviewed as Dick Tracy on television.
Because what was the last one? Dick Tracy on a Zoom call or some shit.
Uh-huh. You can see that on YouTube. It's weird.
I
Because
didn't.
his IMDb page is like the last 4 things he's done are those copyright extension things.
Oh my God.
That's like, can you imagine having sex with 12,000 women and it's like, you're the biggest Dick Tracy fan in the world?
Apparently, yeah.
That seems like these two things don't mix, but I'm glad that they do. It's like it feels like a super
weird,
nerdy
but-
thing.
Well, and the thing is, I think the reason he was able to get all of these like big, heavy hitting actors in this movie was because it appealed to their generation. I think this was everyone getting involved with something that they loved as a kid, that they thought was cool. Dick Tracy, But yeah, it's super weird that he's so possessive of it.
So he does Dick Tracy in 1990. 91, he does Bugsy. 94, he does Love Affair. And in 98, he does Bullworth and then the Ghetto Superstar music video.
He's in the Ghetto
Whoa.
Superstar music video.
Because I think it's on the soundtrack for Bullworth, so he plays Bullworth in the music video.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then he's on the Larry Sanders Show. Something called The Book That Wrote Itself.
A Dick Tracy story.
Town and Country in 2001.
A Dick Tracy.
Nothing until 2010, where he does a Dick Tracy special to extend the copyright.
Yeah.
And then he plays Howard Hughes in a movie in 2016. He does another extension thing in like 2018 in the Oscars where he's with Jimmy Kimmel, and then in 2023, the Dick Tracy special, Tracy zooms in.
Oh my God. That's like the Star Wars Christmas special type stuff, you know, like, man.
Yeah.
Holy Lord.
I bet he's holding on to them with no intention of making another movie. He just doesn't want anybody else to play
It's mine.
Tracy.
I've fucked 12,000 women and I own the rights to Dick
I want
Tracy.
him and Wilt Chamberlain there to be like some kind of biopic where they have like the great fuck off to see who can fuck the most women in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And of course, Warren Beatty falls in love and loses it in the end.
Of course.
Yeah, well, neither one of them fucking ate 12,001 trash can cheese sandwiches. So they could,
My boy says he can eat 12,001 cheese sandwiches. My boy can eat 12,001 cheese sandwiches.
trash can cheese sandwiches.
Shit, my bad.
Got to get it right because
Yeah.
another guy holds the regular cheese sandwich
You're
record.
right. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
Where's his dedication?
He's got nothing.
They made a video game
They
out of this
did.
movie.
They did.
Well, I think it's off of the comic.
Oh,
I read that the game is based off the comic.
Well,
It came out with the release.
It may be, but the like cut
The
scene,
opening somatic
it's
is from
clearly
the movie.
Warren
From the
Beatty,
movie, yeah.
and it's clearly not Madonna. I guess
Right.
they couldn't get Madonna's likeness rights to be in this
meanwhile,
video
Warren
game.
Beatty's like, I am Dick Tracy, so of course this makes sense.
not only is Breathless Mahoney not Madonna, she's not even blonde
Yeah.
in the video game.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was clearly some issues there. There's a lot of issues there, actually.
So this game, I first heard of it when it was an early Angry Video Game Nerd covered it. And of course, he was obsessed with Dick Tracy. When the movie
Really?
came out, and like he has all these pictures and videos of him dressing as Dick Tracy for Halloween. So excited to play this game, and then was pretty devastated by it.
It follows kind of the same formula as the Roger Rabbit game,
Yep.
where you are looking for clues to solve the various crimes going on around the city.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up Roger Rabbit. I think that Dick Tracy is a pretty bad video game, but I think that Roger Rabbit is a worse one.
I agree. I what I played of this game, I didn't hate.
Well, you could drive
didn't hate it
around
either.
and not be awful in Roger Rabbit. Like
Yeah.
the driving here,
the driving
was just
mechanics in Dick Tracy,
unforgivable.
They're
Hey,
horrible.
At least it used the correct lane on the street.
And that's what makes it so bad.
Yeah,
is that it forces you into that grid. And like I don't know if you guys ran into this, but I got into situations where there are other drivers on the road.
What are we in England? Get in the correct lane, you bastard.
And they'll hit you. And they're just civilians.
Yeah, and you can shoot
meanwhile,
'em.
I can't move to the other lane because the game forces me to stay in the correct lane. And it's like, I guess I just get hit. I guess I just get hit over and over
Yeah,
again. by
and all the
this car.
snipers that you have to get out of the car in order to hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's off. It to me that's the main thing that makes this unplayable.
I didn't mind the side-scrolling stuff.
It's
when you
ugly,
go in the
but
it's
I didn't-
ugly,
I
but
didn't
it
mind the
had
the
decent
gameplay.
mechanic. You could use the select button to switch to your pistol,
Yeah.
which had limited ammo.
Right. I thought about you when I discovered that.
Yeah, I loved that. But it was okay.
I didn't feel
There
like I
were-
was ever like scarce for bullets or
No,
anything.
it wasn't that. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I think it was fair, and they do tell you specifically don't punch or don't shoot an unarmed thug.
Did you try it?
I did not.
I tried it.
You
What
lose,
happens?
you lose life.
I tried it when
I
had,
died from it.
Me too. I had
Whoa.
one heart, and I was like, there's no way I'm finishing this mission. And they told me not to shoot an unarmed guy. Blam! Bleh. And then, like, Dick Tracy just, like, curls up on the ground and, like, dies of shame.
Well, on the
Failed the law.
and on the level I'm in, of course, in the game, in the comic, I would imagine like their costumes, they're similar, but they're very different colors. But in the level I'm in, Dick Tracy is yellow. The guys without guns are a slightly different shade of yellow, and the ones with guns are then another slightly different shade of yellow again. So it was fucking awful.
Yeah, you almost
to try
have
and
to
differentiate.
You almost have
Yeah.
to wait till they're shooting at you actively to know whether or not they
Their
have a
movement
gun.
is what I use, because it's like if they punch you, they move. If they shoot you, they literally stand right still. So anytime I'd see a dude standing still, blam.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you've got to go, because it starts out your Dick Tracy at your desk. You have like notes, mug shots, and hit the streets.
So far, I love this.
Yeah, I
love
it looks
this.
good.
It
at
looks
first.
good, and you can go and look at the mug shots, and it like gives you little bios about the thug.
And hints as to where
Where
you
they
need
operate.
to go
Yeah.
to find out from the clues that you have in your notebook, which is kind of your objectives.
And I liked that.
Me too.
I typically don't like it when I feel like a game isn't giving you enough direction and they're just like figure it out. But I felt like this game, like, honestly, gave me just the right amount of information.
More direction than Roger Rabbit, where you're going in random buildings
Right.
and like
Yes.
talking to somebody.
Yes.
Right.
Nothing's here.
Right. And I hated that.
Me too.
This does it so much better. But the problem is that, like, while I feel like that is good, the game is not
Yeah, it's
fun.
the execution. Good premise, good idea, bad execution.
Yeah. Agreed.
Overly ambitious. And then I think the grid locking in, and then
Feels
the
awful.
endless snipers, and then it's just
But even,
and then because you have to collect all 5 clues to go and then make the arrest for the bad guy, and then like
I didn't get that far.
no,
I
not
didn't
at
get
all.
that far.
I got a few
Too
clues,
much of a
and then
time
because
investment.
no continues, 1 life.
I know.
Yeah.
It's brutal. And
There's a part where you can enter a code, but I never got to a spot where I got a code to enter.
did you enter
I
a code?
did, and it was
I put in
like-
666 and then the safe like explodes because
Yeah.
it's a safe that you
Yeah.
put like the
Yeah.
combination in.
But it was because even the Angry Video Game Nerd was just like, I've played this game for 20 years, can't be the first level, never had, and I love Dick Tracy. Fuck this.
I think it's cool that it's like open world, because it's like when I realized it's like I'm not going to beat this game, like there's no way, and I kind of just stopped trying to do that and just
Yeah.
started exploring where it's
Yeah.
like, well, let me look at the mug shots. Oh, it says that this guy runs a garage out of 2F. And I like how the streets are like numbered, like it's a grid, and I like that. And it's like, fuck it, I'll just drive to 2F.
It makes sense.
And I drive to 2F. Sure enough, it's a car repair shop, just like it says in the mugshot. And it's like, that's neat. That's
Yeah,
cool.
they did a little bit of world building, a little
Yeah.
bit of GTA where
Yeah,
you
you
could
go to the
reminded me of
docks
the early
and
GTA,
all that-
but
all
a
that
much
shit,
worse
yeah.
version. Yeah.
right.
So like it was decent premise. Like I could get like 2 clues before I'm dead, and it's just like,
Yeah,
okay,
two
gotta get them
clues
again.
is as far as I got. And it's like
2 clue Tyler over here. It's all fucking got.
we got like you can get first aid kits. You can collect those in the side scrolling stages, which to me played like shitty Castlevania.
Yeah, very
Um,
shitty.
And it's like, so I had to look up how to use these first aid kits, because all the other items you just press select to rotate through it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would select the first aid kit, it would do nothing. And for whatever reason, I guess so you don't use it accidentally, you have to hold down select and press B.
Okay.
Dumb. That's so fucking dumb.
It's weird. And I was like, is this like a rental thing? Where they like, well, we don't want to lose money on the rentals, and so we want to make sure they have the instruction manual to know how to do this. So you have to like use this one item, a super special
I heard
one.
you could also go back to the police station and get your health back, but when I tried
Damn.
that, it didn't work.
I went back, but I didn't pay attention to my health
Yeah.
to see if it refilled.
But all in
It's-
all, like it's
It's
yeah.
ugly, man. This is like,
It looks like the same, like not even like a full like screen before they're copy and pasting the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's all weird and out of order. Like because you're in that one where you get your first clue. On that same screen, there are 5 different fireplaces, all on different levels, where they took like the same 20 pixels and just copied and
repeated
pasted,
it.
and then with weird MC Escher staircases, fucking all over the place and turned everywhere. Like
Yeah.
it was just a mess visually.
it's a Bandai game. I was kind of surprised that it was a Bandai game.
I think it suffered from just trying to cram too much into this. I think it could have been just a neat little side scroller. Maybe
I've heard the
where you
Game
fight
Boy
bosses
version is
and-
just a platformer where you just
Is
go
it?
side to side and punch shit.
I think that was the case in Roger Rabbit as well. Actually,
But I'm less interested in that.
The Genesis version looks really cool.
Oh, really?
Because it is a cross between a like on rail side scrolling beat 'em up and gallery shooter. So you'll have villains in the background and you switch to galley mode and you pull out your Tommy gun and mow them down in the background while you're continuing in the foreground. And it looks great, but apparently it's very, very shallow. Once you get those two mechanics, then it gets really boring.
Kind of sounds like Wild Guns a little bit.
I was going to say
The
Wild
gameplay in
Guns is what we.
Which
is
I
what that-
love the gameplay in that game.
It's a great game.
I may need to check this out on Genesis.
Yeah.
I feel like the NES game, I think I said this about Roger Rabbit too, but this would have done better on like PC.
Yeah. Agreed. But if it had gone to PC,
No one would have played it.
that and it could have had
Give
more
me DOS,
depth.
Tracy.
It needs more depth if it's going to be on PC.
Yeah. Right.
Because of the capabilities
Right.
of the PC,
Right.
you could have a whole lot more
Yeah.
to do and a lot more mysteries to solve
Right.
versus
Yeah.
what we have here, which is like we crammed as much as we could into the cartridge.
Yeah.
And that's why it looks the way it does and kind of sounds the way it does. I mean, music
The sound is, I don't know, man. I thought the music was
it was
bad.
It was not.
It's the same.
It
like,
wasn't
little
too
blip
bad
over
for
and
me,
over. Every time
but
you
it
enter
was-
a side scroller, it's that same.
It was the same. Yeah.
I also got frustrated because on the like overworld segments, not only is the driving really clunky and feels horrible, not as bad as the driving in Terminator 2.
Never.
That's,
Not possible.
You can't. Yeah, you can't get worse
That
than
is,
that.
that's the worst driving in a video game.
Not possible.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
It wasn't that
Race
bad.
driving has better driving than
yes.
the Terminator.
At least
Yes.
race driving feels like driving.
It feels like
You
driving.
can tell
when
you're in a
90.
car.
It would be like
Race
if I
driving.
woke up tomorrow and someone suddenly said, "You're left-handed now." Good luck.
You would be so lucky.
What's wrong with that, motherfucker?
But man, I got frustrated because it's not clear what doors you can go in. Like when you're not driving around, here's another complaint. You can drive anywhere in the car, but when you get on foot, you're locked on the screen that you drove to.
Yep.
So it's like you can't just
Walk where you want to go.
where you want to go. You have to drive where you want to go. If you want to cross long distances, you have to drive
That's
there.
just not very eco-friendly. Frankly.
Thanks.
No, it's
Thanks,
carbon
Henry
footprint's
Ford.
Huge. Yeah. But like when I'm on foot, some of the doors I can go into, some of the doors I can't.
Yeah.
Some of them are labeled that I can go in.
They say
some are not.
door. They didn't even use it. They didn't even bother to like create an icon.
Right.
Just the
Door.
word door or
In case you were wondering.
clue. There's
Clue.
a clue here.
Well, sometimes
Hey,
the door.
clue.
Oftentimes the door is a window. So,
It is in the side-scrolling one. You look up and there's clearly a boarded-up window, and it says
which is
door.
the hole in it. Door.
Flash.
Did you guys have any achievements for Dick Tracy?
I have a few.
What you got?
My first one is Brick Tracy.
Nice.
Get hit by a falling safe. There's a place where you can get hit by a safe. My next achievement is Quick Tracy, and that's get out of your car and shoot all of the snipers on the roof without getting shot once. It's impossible.
Yep.
Those fuckers got some tracking. I mean, they get you.
Yeah,
Even
you
when
get
you're
it
in your
5
car.
times, and then you're dead, and the
fucking
game is
dead. My next achievement is Prick Tracy, and that is automatically arrest everyone without interrogating them.
Yeah. when you-
Because when you
Yeah.
get to a baddie, you get the choice to interrogate to get more clues or to just arrest them.
What happens if you arrest
don't
them?
know.
Because I always interrogated.
I did too. I
I'm
don't
like, I want to
know.
hear what this. I want to hear what this guy has to say.
Yeah, me too. I never fucked with it.
I think you get scolded. There's like a whole separate screen for it. I remember
Damn, I should
watching
have tried
video.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't try it either.
My next achievement is click, 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 Tracy, and that's run out of ammo. My next achievement is slick Tracy, and that is slide off the wooden poles and into the water on the pier level.
So easy to do.
It really is. And my final achievement is stick and move Tracy, and that's knock out 10 enemies with your super punch. Now, you find a boxing glove that you can use 10 times with your punch, and it like literally makes the person you punch bounce all around the level and go down the steps and take out other enemies.
I liked that. I have an achievement based around that one as well.
That was my last achievement.
My first one is why I oughta. In order to unlock why I oughta, punch a dude with the super punch glove and take out at least 2 other mooks with their spinning body.
Nice.
Which I did honestly think that was a lot of fun.
That was pretty cool.
Because it's fun. It's fun to try to run as fast as you can to the right, so that a spinning body on a level below you just keeps taking dudes out.
Yeah, because it won't hit anything until it gets to stairs.
They're like a fucking Koopa Trooper.
Yeah, they really
Mario
are.
Brothers, where you like kick one off and then. My next achievement is back and to the left, back and to the left. In order to unlock that, you get sniped in your car from a rooftop.
Happened to me.
Same. And my last achievement is go suck an egg. In order to unlock go suck an egg, which is like another laugh out loud moment that Nikki and I had when the kid says that to Dick Tracy after he rescues him from the man who beats him.
Which is really foul language for the time. I just want you to know.
In order to unlock that, you realize that you have only one life in this game after following a trail of clues to 3 different locations over the course of 20 minutes, only to get shot to death in a garage by a random thug.
Just like Batman's parents.
Yeah.
Pointless, senseless violence.
You got any, Tyler?
I'm going to build on what Ian did. My first one is Trick Tracy. That is where you correctly guess a safe code.
Ooh.
And whatever happens from that, I don't know what it is.
We'll never know, but that's a good one.
And then Riddick Tracy, which as my favorite boxer is Riddick Bowe. Only punch all the enemies in a whole stage. And then my last one, Crip Tracy, don't kill anyone dressed in blue.
Nice. What do you think Flopsy has to say about this game, Flopsy Jr.?
Probably nothing good.
It's got to be 2 stars.
2 stars. Check it out.
2 stars. Wasn't safe. Says, uncommon.
2 stars. Uncommon. What do you think, Tyler?
1.5 stars common.
I think it's a late NES game. That's the only reason I think it might not be common. But Walt Disney put this movie out.
Yeah.
And they like to spend money.
Yeah, they do. I'm sure. Oh, I've got a letter from Brad.
Oh, yeah, we should
Forgot
definitely
about
read
that. And I have keep talking, Dave.
I'll go 2 star. I'll go 1.5 star common.
I figure it'd be I'm in the same realm as Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. According to the Guide to Nintendo 1984-1992 by Pat Contricursia, Big Dick Pie Baker, Chris Vaughn. Thank you. Flopsy Jr. gives it. Oh, that's not the right game. Gives it 2.5 stars.
Damn.
Common. The reflections here from SW. I was a huge fan of the Dick Tracy movie as a kid, and I remember that fact as well as the excellent box art. What? I was a huge fan of the Dick Tracy movie as a kid, and I remember that fact.
I remembered, hey, I do like the movie.
It's a weird run-on sentence. It's not done yet. As well as the excellent box art, comma, selling me on the game, period.
Good writing there.
And then the baby looked at me.
Oh my God. All right. Brad writes, hello. Hello. I've already told my Dick Tracy story, but if you want to summarize again, here it is. My 13-year-old friend's mother read him the Dick Tracy novelization at bedtime when I stayed over at his house, and I still laugh about it to this day, although I think it's kind of sweet as I get older and my daughter is now the same age. Never seen the movie, but I do remember that around the time this came out, I was starting to be aware of movies, and to me, Warren Beatty was like a new movie star because I didn't know about any of his movies prior to Dick Tracy, much like the three of us. This game is so old. GamePro wasn't.
How old is it?
It's so old that GamePro wasn't putting scores on their reviews. Seems like they liked it okay, though. Bonus props to GamePro for spelling it sleazy with a Z rather than sleazy with two E's rather than sleazy with an EA. Okay. Here's the review of Dick Tracy by GamePro. I'm on my way. If you can identify that quote, we can't promise you a spot in the Hall of Fame, but we can promise that you're in tune with one of the hottest, hippest characters in town. The name's Dick Tracy, to be exact. And this mild-mannered crime stopper turned NEC cartridge star via Bandai is up to his fedora in trouble. Faced with 5 major cases, Dick's going to need more than the average safecracker to bust this cart open wide and make a clean sweep of the city crime game. Grime. I think I need to read this like a radio announcer. A thriving metropolis filled with an impressive gang of hoodlums forms the backdrop for all of Dick Tracy's cases. The saga begins with a case called The Bogus Bucks. Could be counterfeit? Okay. And it sends Dick on a mad dash through the city in search of pertinent clues. Before peeling out in his Dick Tracy mobile, he needs to take a quick breeze through a book of mugshots, which contains a brief history on their criminal past. Okay, we know all this stuff, man. We already said this. How do you not know what we've already said? Seedy dockyards, warehouses, factories, and sleazy nightclubs are a few of the joints Dick must scope out for clues. Stay alert. These places are infested with more than just wharf rats. Make a thorough search of the building and you'll eventually come across a clue or the ugly mug Dick's been looking for. Blah, blah, blah. Dick Tracy is quite a colorful character indeed, though the cart isn't feverishly high in the action gauge. It keeps in sync with Dick's true blue, nonviolent personality. What? Is he talking about Superman or Dick Tracy? Dick Tracy's true blue, nonviolent personality. You know, his nonviolent personality where he pulls out a gun and shoots people or punches them in the face.
I saw him with a Tommy gun in the middle of a city street shoot
with
so
everyone.
many
with
cars
10 other
and people.
cops, all with Tommy guns.
It really makes you use your noodle during your investigations. So if you like a game with a blend of shoot 'em up and thinking, hit the town with Dick Tracy.
That reminds me,
$50 this costs.
I want to give the movie props on something that I feel like they really tastefully approached explosions, because there's a scene in the movie where like a water boiler explodes.
Yeah.
And it's done so that it looks like that Dick Tracy died by accident, but they still tie him to a chair. I'm sure the cops would like totally think that's an accident.
Absolutely. You know how it goes.
Like a chair and ropes.
I fall out of my chair. I tied myself into the chair. What do you want from me?
But the boiler explodes, and when it does, there's no flames. You know what I mean? It's like
it is a believable boiler explosion. I thought the same thing.
And it like is contained to the basement and like a little bit of the first floor.
Yes.
And it's like, also Tessa's landlord must be like, yo, you need to find a new boyfriend because the front of our building has been shot up Which I meant to check to see if all the windows are still, if we could see bullet holes in the front of our building. I don't think you could.
I don't know.
I thought that was really nice.
That was.
I thought it was nice that they did that because I've seen a lot of movies from this time that don't.
Oh, it's like were they storing dynamite
Right.
in the fucking literal every room of the building?
Like in Cutthroat Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, oh man, a carriage got shot.
Well, we didn't really talk about Mumbles, which is
Dustin
portrayed by Dennis Hoffman. Or Gilbert Gottfried was up for that part.
Really?
And yeah. Didn't think it was right for him.
At one point, the one of the radio announcers is the super fast talk guy.
The Micro Machines
The
guy?
Micro Machines guy, but you never hear him talk. It's him. I know it's him because I know what he looks like, but it's during a montage that's playing music and you never hear him talk. And it's like, why are you going to hire the guy that's known for talking, setting world records for speaking, but you never hear him speak, especially as a radio news announcer? It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the extended cut. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, any other thoughts?
No.
Yeah.
Tracy?
Tyler, if you were to do it, what kind of beard?
A just beard just dripping with vaginal secretions. Warren Beatty's just dripping with 12,000. The slickness of 12,000 pussies.
Nice. Cool. Shit, man. Sounds like a pretty good game to me.
Sound like a good game. Damn.
Fucking sold.
Also rolling some dice though with 12,000.
I'm going to revisit
Take my $50.
I'm going to revisit that one.
Tyler, if glasses, what glasses?
Glasses covering your eye.
Wait,
The gap in Madonna's teeth.
I thought it was going to be two pussy holes. You're like, said not on brand? I thought there was a theme.
Breathless ponies, gaping pussy hole and asshole.
There we go.
Worn horizontally
Just lay on
like
the side.
glasses.
Yeah,
For the sun.
glasses. Yeah, you know, your nose goes right in the butt crease.
Like a hamburger,
Yeah.
not a hot dog fold, hamburger fold.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's a trash can grilled cheese I eat.
Frog pussy.
Oh. Best glasses in a while.
It's good glasses.
Oh, fuck.
What game? We're gonna play a game next? What are we gonna do?
We got a quick
calls?
turnover. I think we should do.
Yeah, we gotta do a quickie because of me.
Warren Beatty called. He needs us.
Warren Beatty needs
He's
us
only
to
got an hour.
Yeah.
help clean up all the pussy juice.
He heard about this bussy thing. He wants to check it out.
I'm 87. It's about time I go into Bussy.
Yeah, it's like I fucked 12,000 pussies, man. Like I'm due a bussy.
Gotta mix it up some point. At some point, it just doesn't feel right. It's just,
That's his next copyright extension, Tracy. Tracy busts some Bussy.
Eat bussy, Tracy.
Do you want to
Oh,
roll?
no, Holes Holloway. He's coming after.
Do y'all want to roll for the next one now so we have a little more time to
Know what to look for?
think
Sure.
about?
I would like that.
Because I've been putting this off to the last minute a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to do it better this time. Probably not.
No, I don't think I will either.
All right. Let's see here. Four.
Oh, Lord.
So 4 is Aladdin, which we have done.
Yeah.
So let's just fall down that list.
It's gonna be a long fall, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Alien 3,
Done
which
it.
we've covered. An American Tail, Five Goes West.
Oh yeah, done it.
Batman Forever.
Okay. Forever? We've done Forever, right?
There's Batman Forever and Batman Returns.
We haven't done Batman Returns.
Batman Returns. Okay.
We've done Forever. We did that with the crossover.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we get to watch Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Danny DeVito.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Hell
Hell yeah, this will be a good one. I like. Maybe not the game, but I'm excited for the movie.
I'm excited to hear that same music I just heard this week.
It's turning into a Danny Elfman series.
Yeah, no shit.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, but not SoundCloud or Stitcher, but most everywhere else. All sorts of shit going on, but most importantly is that Patreon.
Money, please.
Money, please.
Patreon.com/TADPOG. If you'd like to give us money, you can listen to our bonus content for as little as $1 a month. We got a lot of bonus content out there. We're uploading episodes of our Dark Tower book club review.
Yes.
We're up to part 2 at this point, I think.
Part 3.
Part 3 should be coming
out in a couple days if you're listening to this.
All right.
When it comes out.
And then we've got a couple more of those that we're recording. There's a bunch of stuff already on there. Tyler's actual plays. A lot of good stuff. So if you want to hear all that good stuff, just $1 a month gets you access to that. And then we do have a list of executive producers that donate $20 or more per month to the show. And as a courtesy and a way of thanking them, we like to read their names every single week. So I'm going to read that list now, starting with Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Usurper Grimm, Gamebug Prime, Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane Archmage, Chris Edler, sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Derek Pope Sandwich, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, congratulations on your marriage, Drink Smith Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Louisville Correspondent Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, Canadian Turbo Nerd Thomas. Thank you all so much for your generosity. To all of our donors,
Hell yeah,
we're super grateful for that.
Yep.
It helps us keep doing the show and helps pay my light bill. Thanks to Dane for putting the show on YouTube every week. And thanks again to Brad for sending us the nice informative email about our game this week. I appreciate
y'all.
you doing that.
Wasn't there another novelization? I feel like there was another movie adaptation that was read to Brad. I feel like there was in another email, there was another novel. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I don't remember either.
Have we done Home Alone or Home Alone 2?
We have done Home Alone 1. We haven't
but
done
not Home Alone 2.
I don't think we've done Home Alone 2.
So that means, counting Batman Returns, we have 8 more movie games on the SNES to go.
That'll put us right at Christmas, close to Christmas for Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Don't make me think that's 8. God.
And we'll know by then if Donald Trump is president. By the way.
So that's what we do for Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2 for November?
Yeah. Yep.
I want to add an NES game to our list, if you guys don't mind. I want to add Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Very nice. Absolutely. Our theme song is Moves by Sigmar Drive. We do that track from the show notes at tadpog.com. How you guys want to close it out?
As a radio announcer from the 30s and 40s.
All right. So until next time.
Capricorn. See? No, that was less gangster. It was more gangster.
You could be a gangster and a radio announcer.
A gangster radio announcer? Yeah. Okay.
By the gangsters, for the gangsters.
Yeah.
Fagoo-bagoo.
It's a good acronym. Gabagool. WGAB. Your only source for gabagool. TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes published Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is.
And now a dramatic reading. The bigger the cap, the bigger the peelin'. Who gives a fuck about a punk-ass villain? You're getting fucked real quick. And Easy's dick is smelling like MC Ren's shit. Tried to tell you a year ago, but Willie D told me to let a hoe be a hoe. So I couldn't stop you from getting ganked. Now let's play Big Bank Take Little Bank. Tried to diss Ice Cube. It wasn't worth it. Because the broomstick fits your ass so perfect. Cut my hair and I'll cut them balls. Because I heard you like giving up them draws. Gang banged by your manager fella, getting money out your ass like a motherfucking ready teller, giving up the dollar bills. Now they got the villain with a purse and high heels. So don't say what Ray say, because he going out like Kuta Kinte. I'll stop there.
A poem by Warren Beatty.
I understand. Dick Tracy. A poem by Dick Tracy.